Yo, what's up, guys? Let's go. 10 minutes left. Well, 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Let's see what they've got to offer. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let me know if everything is, the volume is okay. Let me just have a look, make sure everything's all square. How's the volume of the music? It is a bit low at the moment. I might turn it up a tad. Let's put it up just a little bit. There we go. And you guys let me know if that's okay. What's going on, everybody? Oh yeah, thanks guys. Yeah, you know what it's like. There's a few things I needed to say, so kind of get it off my chest. It was good. I think people received it pretty well, which is nice. That would be pretty cool. I don't think they could do that though. That would be a bit weird. Do you guys think that would be a thing? If they added all the gear from the Division 1 into the Division 2. Volume's good, yeah? Sweet, guys. Cheers. Vibes, what's up, bro? How you doing? Okay, guys. So what we're going to do now is, you guys are going to help me out, right? We're going to go to the Ubisoft North America live stream, and we are going to go into the chat, and we are going to get all the community over here, not on Ubisoft. How about that? Why don't we do that, guys? Go over there, tell them to join the stream. Let's do that. Spam the chat. Raid. Just say Patrick Wolf raid. Come watch. Dude, this is the longest. I've been watching since half an hour. I don't know why. I can't do anything else. I'm trying to. I was gonna go and play, and my mind is completely just on this. I can't. I don't want to miss it in case they started early. We're like, oh damn it. What? What? What louder? The mic or the volume? Remember that the tune is very soft at the moment. When it starts, if I need to turn it up, I'll make sure everything's good for you guys. I'll turn it up. I'm very excited, guys. But yeah, thanks for joining. I thought, well, I might as well stream it. I mean, everyone's doing it on Twitch, so I said, let's just do it here. You know, we can have more of a private stream here. I've got the quality nice for you guys, so it'll be good. Should be looking good. The hype is real. What do you guys are hoping for? Let me know what you get in the chat. What you guys are hoping for. Thanks, Pierre. Appreciate it, bro. Yo, go there and raid. Say Patrick Wolf raid, and come watch me. Oh yeah, everyone's saying hello to you. Are they doing it?
No, they're not saying hello to me.
Oh wait, that's my stream. Now go to the Ubisoft North America one and see who's Yes, I'm representing the YouTube community. Have you seen on Twitch, guys? So many people are streaming this on Twitch. It's actually hilarious. I think there's like over 25, 30 streams. It's quite funny. Are you guys spamming Ubisoft North America chat? Eh? I've turned mine down. Yeah, it is loud. Oh my word! Thanks for the donation, bro. I appreciate it. Holy moly, that's a good start. Victorious I am, bro. I've been with it since the Division 1 beta. Hopefully we're gonna see, guys. I don't want to say anything, but we're gonna see. What are you guys' predictions? What's gonna happen? What are we getting? What do you guys want to see? What will disappoint you? What will make you happy? Incursions. You know what I hope? I hope that every single game mode from the Division 1 gets implemented in this expansion. Imagine survival, last stand, everything. And you can go to play it in New York or in DC. That's what I want. And global events as well. But I'm excited. Let's see. I don't know, it's been on my mind all day. By the way, that's not my stream, guys. That is the actual video that skips. Hopefully it doesn't crash. This was a stream. A lot of people are watching it. I think they're going to get a lot of attention from this. So I think a lot is riding on this. They better perform. Hey, Space Knight, what's up, bro?
What do you want us to spam?
What do you want to... Guys, go to Ubisoft North America and say Patrick Wolf raid and tell them to come over here. Tell them to come to my stream. Let's create a community speech, some talking here, not talking there with all those other people. We gotta be privatized here, guys. We gotta have fun with, you know, proper community members. There's gonna be a lot of people who don't even play this game in that main chat. That's why I don't want to go there. The year 2 expansion. I don't care. I'll pay $200, to be honest. That's my opinion. I haven't thought about the money. It's horrible, and I know a lot of people are going to struggle a bit. But, yeah. It feels like this last 7 minutes have been a year. Year 2 wasn't... Guys, I don't feel like the game was a waste at all. I enjoyed myself. I really did enjoy myself. I enjoyed myself a lot. And I don't regret playing the game. People say, oh, we have to change. Division 1 was worse. Just remember the Division 1, guys. We went through hell, 1.7 came out, and then guess what? Everything changed. Every month, everything changed. They changed guns, they changed gear. It's fun, it keeps the game alive, it keeps everything different. What's the problem, you know? I like it when things change. That's just my opinion. But yeah, let's go. This better hurry up. I am super keen. Super keen. Please, let's make sure that this is live, guys. Yes, it is. The bar is at the end. Hopefully they stream this at 60 FPS, because I am bringing you guys a stream at 60 FPS, so we'll see. But yeah, welcome to the stream. $29. That's not too bad.
There's 3,300 people watching the main stream.
Oh, is it? Guys, there's 30,000 people watching the main stream. 3,000. I thought you said 30. Oh, Eric has become a member. Welcome, bro. You do get a link to the Discord. Jump in. And funny enough, Eric, if you want to come, you can come and talk in the Discord right now. I'm currently in the Discord on the mic. So if you want to come, you can join. Anyone who wants to come and talk and you're a member, you get a special code to the Discord. Come jump in. Oh, Shinuki, I'm glad you're enjoying it, bro. It's really good. Dark Zone expansion, what do you think? Yes, I think that'll be great. I've heard rumors that the Dark Zone is getting merged into one, but I don't think that's going to happen. We're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, make sure to hit the like button, guys. You have to smash the like with your elbow, and if you can't hit it with your elbow, just do it normally, you know. But you're a bot if you can't do it. I can do it. This is... Okay, guys, we've got a short time left. I'm very much game. 1 minute left. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous now. I'm starting to get nervous because what if this is terrible? I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think it will be. I don't think they've ever done a countdown like this before. What's up, Johnny Kid? Is that? I'm so excited, guys. Let's see what happens. I'm going to be very quiet, so I won't be ignoring you guys. We're going to be watching, so I would hold back on the chat, guys, when it starts, because I will be ignoring you guys because I'm interested in watching, so I'm sure everyone will be. I'll have a browse. It depends what's going on. If they're just saying hello and all that stuff. Right, we are live and the volume is up. There we go, guys. Let's see what they've got. Thanks, Gossy, for the donation, bro. Appreciate it. Let's see.
virus destroyed society in a few days. But here we are, 8 months later, and you haven't learned anything. Somehow, you can't see that you're making the same mistakes that brought it all down in the first place. Your job, Agent, is to protect this delusion. And I have sworn to destroy it. You can try to stop me, hunt me down. You can try to stop me, hunt me down, kill me.
I think that's Kina. That's Kina, guys.
But this is bigger than any of us.
He's coming.
So you're gonna have to ask yourself, is this a fight you think you can win?
Yeah, let me turn it these stupid things off, guys. I will remove it quickly. Seems as though there we go. Alert box gone. Hopefully. He looks pretty. What was up with those seeker mines? Did you guys see those seeker mines? Yeah,
Agent,
guys, I
listen
turned them
up.
off. Let's go. Let's go.
You and your squad are urgently needed in New York City. A biological attack hit Lower Manhattan. We need your help to hunt down the one responsible. Aaron Keener, call sign Vanguard. He's the one behind the deadly attack on Division headquarters that killed dozens of top Division agents and countless innocent civilians. And we suspect he's just getting started. Keep in mind, Keener knows this city inside and out. And he's as cunning and as lethal as they come. Originally, Keener was one of us. But 8 months ago, the division failed him by leaving him to die in the Dark Zone. That was the day he lost faith and went rogue. He disappeared and gathered all the tools he needed to engineer his own biological weapons. He doesn't just want revenge. He seeks chaos. He believes it is the only way for humanity to thrive.
I'll nemesis him in the face. 20k, 20 million base.
Keener isn't the
That's not me, by the way, guys. That's the stream.
Keener isn't the only one with an axe
That's
to
their
grind
stream.
against the division. There are others. Keener has recruited 4 rogue agents who not only share his extremist vision, they have the skills to execute it. They've worked their way up within factions ruling over Lower Manhattan. If we want to get to Keener, we'll need to go through them first. First up, Vivian Conley. Former counterterrorism intelligence agent and
Vivian.
chemical engineer. Conley's last known location was the Two Bridges sector. A hurricane ravaged the coast a few months ago, so it's a far cry from the thriving urban sector it once was. Keener's second rogue agent is Javier Kajika, a master of stealth and infiltration.
Was that
He
a
was a black ops hitman for
a
the
bow?
U.S. government. With the government collapse, his
Yeah.
loyalty goes to whoever will feed his need for blood. Our latest intel locates Kajika somewhere in the Battery Park area, the part of the city that's taken over by swamp. The terrain is rough and scattered with giant sinkholes that used to be subway tunnels. Odds are he knows you're coming for him and plans to use the dicey terrain to get the drop on you.
Oh,
Both
look
Conley
at
and
that.
Kajika work with the Cleaners,
Oh,
a former New York
that
City
Pharaoh?
sanitation unit that believes only fire can stop the virus. Conley was recruited by the Cleaners when she went rogue, and thanks to her technical expertise, they're deadlier than ever. We've been exchanging blows with them for a while, but their methods are ruthless, and their cleansing fire takes no prisoners.
Uh-oh.
James Dragov, former police officer, a heavy weapons and defense specialist. His relentless fight for justice made him a legend on the force. Yet, his allegiance has changed.
Hit him, JT. Hit him.
Dragov took hold of the financial
Pay attention to
district
the
and has
map,
been
guys.
using
Do you
it as
see the map?
center of his black market operation.
Keep in mind that they're showing us
Our
the
intel
map.
suggests he's still there. Be careful.
Looks pretty
Major
big.
flooding has transformed the entire district into a mudslide. Last but not least, Theo Parnell, a drone engineer and skilled hacker. He's managed to stay off the grid, so all we can say for sure is he's a true master of decoys and deception. Keeners arranged for the Rikers to protect him at an unknown location in the Civic Center area. Dragov and Parnell have both been linked to the Rikers, ex-cons from Rikers Island prison. Regardless of who their enemies were in the past, they've agreed to band together. Their motto, power by numbers.
Oh.
And just like Keener, they thrive in chaos. Before you arrive at the base of operations with Agent Alani Kelso, I should warn you, a lot has changed in New York.
Okay, okay.
The days when division agents were seen as knights in shining armor are long gone. The people around here are survivors. Ever since Keener and his rogue agents took over Lower Manhattan, there's been a distrust of division agents amongst civilians. Agent Fei Lau has been the acting commander of the division in New York City and is leading the hunt for Keener. Her methods are unconventional, but we're in a race against the clock, and Lau knows what it takes to get results quickly. You'll also find Paul Rhodes,
there's old Paul.
now the leader of the civilian settlement. Because he's so tapped into the city, he may be able to help you track Keener and his rogue
Where's
agents.
that guy that keeps smacking into me at the
Our
base?
mission is simple.
Whenever I'm trying to make a video.
Find and eliminate Keener. But to expose our target, we'll need to take down his chain of rogue agents before they destroy us. Agents, the hunt for Keener is on.
Okay.
Welcome to New York. I'm Drew
Walk
Reckner,
through?
Associate Game
Let's
Director
go.
on the Division
Let's go.
2. This is a gameplay walkthrough of Warlords of New York, our new expansion introducing a new area to the world of the Division 2. In order to avoid spoiling our narrative-driven campaign, some parts of the video are edited out. Aaron Keener has been spreading chaos here in New York,
That looks
creating
amazing.
a world where the strongest will remain. To reach Keener, we must go for his followers first. The hunt has just started.
Can I play? Whoa! Oh my word. That's completely different, guys.
Drones inside and out. PA pilot before he went rogue. So he knows drones inside and out.
Two bridges. Okay, okay.
Rhodes told us that the peacekeepers and two bridges
Sticky
have been
bomb.
tracking cleaner movements for
Sticky
the past
bomb.
few days.
Reward,
This is
burn
our
sticky
best
bomb.
bet
What's
to
that?
learn more about Conley.
Wolf likes that.
Vivian Conley, former First Wave Division agent. She went rogue, losing faith in the division at the worst of the collapse. She joined the Cleaners soon after, and her chemical expertise had made them deadlier than ever. This is Haven, our new base of operations here in New York. It was founded a few months back by
clapping.
first responders and civilian volunteers who call themselves the Peacekeepers. They have everything they need in here: security, food, supplies. They've been standing on their ground against the Rikers and
Come
the
on,
Cleaners.
they could have at least increased the
All
frame
of
rate a
that
bit.
without the division.
It's terrible. It's not my
They've
stream,
let us in,
guys.
but
It's
to
also on
them,
my end.
We are yet another group
Oh,
of
look at
troublemakers.
that pupsy.
We will have to earn
Oh,
their
you can
trust
touch the
back.
dog. Now my girlfriend might play this game again. You pet the dog. Who saw the sticky bomb? I saw that. That said sticky bomb. Hello. That looks cool. I think the sticky bomb's on his back. Look at that, guys. There's a sticky bomb on his back there. Look at his backpack.
Unbelievable. We're right back in the same goddamn mess we were in when Amherst unleashed green poison. I set up Haven without the division and all the blood and violence you bring with you. And Faye, she's been flag waving from behind the authority of a division badge for way too long. Don't make me regret letting you into my home.
Okay.
I won't forgive it.
I'll easy 1v1 you. Please don't make us wait
Keener
months
is
for
putting
this.
a lot of pressure on the people of New York. They are on the edge, but these are the people you are fighting for. These civilians need to be given a chance to be safe and decide what comes next by themselves. We have been informed of a confrontation between the Rikers, known for attacking any kind of law enforcement, and the peacekeepers at a nearby outpost in the Two Bridges area. This could be a lead to our next target, Vivian Conley.
Two Bridges was one of the areas that held out the longest after the outbreak. Many of the locals refused to leave their homes and move into Sarah camps. They tried to set up
Use the
neighborhood
sticky
community
bomb.
centers rather than relying on the government. Most of them didn't make it. With the cleaners and the other factions wreaking havoc in the area, it was never really sustainable.
There we go.
These days, only a few remain.
Volume's up. Let me know if it's too loud, guys, or too soft. I'll adjust it for you guys. Just let me know in the chat. Just when the action starts, it's going to be chaos.
I've got
Oh.
reports that the peacekeepers are trying to take a Riker's control point. Give them a hand. See what you can find out from them.
Sticky bomb. Sticky bomb. Sticky bomb. Sticky bomb. Use a sticky bomb. No, not the AK, dude. Use a sticky bomb.
There will be new weapons and tools to play with,
Yes.
and one of the old favorites, the sticky bomb,
Yes.
has been brought
It's
back.
coming back.
It latches to surfaces and enemies alike. You can detonate it
Yes.
at the perfect
Did
time,
you see that?
providing
Sticky
new
bomb.
tactical
Yes, I'm
opportunities in
excited.
combat.
Oh my god, guys, it's back. Oh, what's the cooldown? Easy. We'll make that cooldown 5 seconds. No problem. It's loud now, bro. It'll be loud. Sticky bomb. It's got a seeker mine as well now. Looks the same. One shot sticky bomb build. Let's go. Well, hope it's not going to be broken. We're going to have to see.
Warlords of New York is also introducing a host of overall changes to UI and gear systems. Our goal is to ensure that gear and weapons have clearer intended roles, allowing easier decision.
Explosive damage.
You can see right away how much an
Yo.
item can help you.
Circle
optimize
of
your
concern
gear later.
is where it's at, guys. My word.
Rhodes told us you're looking for a rogue agent working with the cleaners. Yeah, we've seen her.
Look how big the
She's
area
sneaky,
is,
but still
guys.
seems to go out on missions with the rest of the guys. Check in with the community near here. They're keeping track of the latest news.
Sounds like Conley's been busy.
Head to the community. and see
Chinese
what they've found.
supermarket.
We're getting warmer.
Guys, try and pay attention because in case I miss something. You want revenge, I saw that. What gun is he using? That's a burst fire. That was burst. The
We have
shoes he's
skipped
wearing
some
I
of the
haven't
steps
seen
of our
before, by the
manhunt.
way.
As this is a main mission, we could complete it on our own, just like the rest of the game. But playing with friends can also be fun. For this last push, let's welcome another agent into our game and work together to take down Conley.
Sticky bomb them again. I'm so hyped for that sticky bomb. Oh my word, guys. Savannah, he's got a teammate now.
After the outbreak, a devastating hurricane
looks
hit New York
amazing.
harder than any other city
Oh.
in the U.S. The city was flooded, blocking roads and collapsing bridges, all bringing the already quarantined city into a total state of chaos.
Time to take down Vivian Conley and hopefully get us one step closer
Oh, that was a high jump. Okay. Oh wow, you can go outside
This
there.
massive tanker has crashed onto the shore, creating an oil spill. Cleaners are harvesting it with the help of Vivian Conley to fuel their weapons.
Sticky bomb.
Shit.
Sticky bomb.
Fucking oil gas. Somebody's gotta fix those cooling pumps.
Oh.
Pull me out.
Come on. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's a shield boy. Guys, it seems like they've added some new animations and sounds. The sounds, can you see how the color difference in the sound? The sounds have been updated.
Cooling pump system compromised.
Conley's
Yeah,
not gonna
guys,
like that one bit.
I don't want to be sour, but did you guys see a
Let's
DZ?
see
You
what else
got a
you can
point,
mess
bro. I
with
didn't
that'll
see a
piss her
DZ.
off.
But we can't say anything. We've got to wait and see. That looks amazing. Hopefully it's not different when you actually play the game, because they've done that to us before.
Fighting indoors is more challenging, but different enemies have different weak points you can use to your advantage.
Oh, he's holding his leg. I've never seen that before. Dude, go cover. You're gonna get sniped. Vector. Where's the chameleon?
We have fought our way through the ship. This is it. We are close to Conley. It's on you now, Agent. Good luck.
This kind of reminds me of Tidal Basin. Okay. There she is. Oh, me likey. Me likey so far. What do you guys think? I think it looks great, but PvP is
We at
something that
Massive
a lot
are
of us want to
incredibly
know.
excited to bring this expansion to life.
Oh, it's true.
We worked on the Division 1, Division 2, and now that same team, we're working on this expansion. And this really is the opportunity for us to bring not only an exciting new narrative, but a lot of new gameplay and a lot of new improvements as well.
More than ever, I think there is something for everyone in this game.
Make sure to
and
leave a
that's
like,
what's really
guys.
exciting.
Please leave a
It's
like.
New gear,
Before you guys go,
new
if you are gonna
gameplay
ditch me.
elements, new skills, new reasons to play the game.
New skills. I didn't know that.
Warlords of New York is set in Lower Manhattan, a brand new area in the world of the
Welcome,
Division
Mrs. Roy,
franchise, which has been faithfully
to the community.
reproduced at a 1-to-1 scale. In Warlords of New York, you can push your agent further than
40.
ever before
Thank you,
thanks to
finally.
an increased level cap from level 30 to level 40. But hitting level 40 is not the end. Warlords of New York is introducing a new infinite progression system, allowing you to continue to improve your agent's stats and refine your playstyle even after reaching level 40.
Finally! We've been waiting for that
players
for
who have already
years.
reached level 30 in the Division 2, you can jump directly into the brand new campaign of Warlords of New York. If you are new to the Division 2, you can choose to start at level 1 in Washington, D.C., or start at level 30 in New York City. Players choosing to jump first into Warlords of New York will be able to go back to D.C. once they have completed the new campaign.
We've taken a lot of feedback from our fans into consideration when developing this expansion. And that includes changes to the way that our inventory system works, changes to RPG, making sure that builds are now more viable than ever before.
Warlords of New York is expanding the amount of equipment available for agents. Our new arsenal spreads across new gear brands, new gear sets, new weapons, and new exotic items.
What? Hey! Did you see
Warlords
that?
of New York is
New
also
thumbnail, guys.
introducing
That's gonna be
major
a
changes
thumbnail.
in the
Did
gear
you
system
see
for
that?
the Division 2. All gear and weapon stats are being streamlined. We're bringing in major improvements to our UI.
The Statue of
ensuring
Liberty
that
gun.
attributes
My
and advantages
gosh.
are easy and quick to understand.
53k armor.
Every single loot drop will be exciting.
What's that?
We're
What was that
ensuring
skill?
that you will always loot something that has a stat or bonus to complement your gear set
Combined
and
arms.
playstyle.
Shooting enemy increases.
And it's emphasized by the introduction of talent storage that allows you to apply bonuses that you have looted at least once to your favorite gear piece. All of these improvements will ensure
I'm
that agents'
overwhelmed.
builds can be as diverse as the playstyle you really want to dig into. The rogue agents you're hunting all have a unique specialized skill. When you eliminate one of them, you will add their
Trap.
unique skill to your arsenal.
Decoy.
Shock traps. These are the best tools for crowd control, since they'll incapacitate enemies and make them easier to target.
No.
They interconnect so you can
Shock
create
traps
virtual
in PvP,
tripwires.
guys.
Just the thing for a surprise ambush, or to give an agent enough time to find new cover when an unexpected wave of enemies rushes in. Echo-based hologram decoys. Use these to attract enemy fire so you can find new cover or draw the enemy
We
to
are
a
gonna
specific
troll so
position,
many people in the
giving you
DZ
an
with this.
unprecedented tactical advantage. Explosive sticky bombs. Our new take on the fan favorite from the Division 1. They're long-range projectiles that need to be activated by the
Boom.
agent with a quick tap of the trigger. They can latch onto environmental elements and enemies alike. And fire-spreading sticky bombs. Burning with an intense flame once set, continuously dealing damage to anyone in its range of effect. Playing with skills has never been easier in the Division. Thanks to the new tier system, you will directly see and understand how your gear impacts the power of your skills. The Dark Zones from Washington, D.C. are being revamped. We are returning to a simpler rogue mechanic and rewarding players who help each other in the Dark Zones.
Yes.
Additional gameplay features such as legendary difficulty, directives, invasion difficulty level, and more are included in Warlords of New York. These additions expand the range of activities,
Talk about
challenges, and
Dark
rewards
Zone more.
available. Oh, and one last thing. It seems you're not the only one on the hunt in Lower Manhattan. Stay on guard at all
Oh,
times.
hunters come
What's
easy
very important for
1v1.
us with Warlords of New York is not only to give you the fantastic story and hunt for Keener from level 30 to level 40, but also make sure that your experience continues and carries on once you reach level 40. So to do that, we're adding a new feature that is called Seasons.
In post-launch, Seasons will introduce new targets to hunt
events.
down, each with their own stories and unique rewards. Each season will be filled with global events, leagues with leaderboards, and weapons and gear to unlock.
With the seasons, each activity will come with its own rewards, gameplay and cosmetic to really be able to show your achievements and show how well you performed.
Seasons will reward you with apparel, equipment drops, and resources. Players wanting even more can opt for a premium paid track for additional rewards. More to come as we get closer to Season 1. The hunt for Keener starts now with Episode
Chameleon?
3,
That's
the
a
prologue
chameleon.
to Warlords of New York. Episode 3 is a free update that includes 2 new action-packed missions in a brand new area,
Yeah, we
Coney
know.
Island,
We know.
plus a new endgame specialization.
Episode 3 is actually the beginning of this whole new phase. This is the episode that introduces the whole narrative and the whole reason and motivation why you are going back to New York that will then culminate with Warlords of New York. So this is really the right moment to get back into the game, to get started.
Episode 3 will be available to play tomorrow, February 12th,
Yes!
for all owners of the Year 1
Yes.
Pass.
Okay, well, it's
And it will be available on February 19th for all players of the Division 2.
okay, well, it's just narrative, isn't it,
Warlords
guys?
of New York is a great time to join in and playing the Division 2.
Division 2 is already a fantastic game, and we're building on that.
Warlords of New York will be available on March 3rd, 2020. Owners of the Division 2 can directly purchase the Warlords of New York expansion. For new players, bundles including the Division 2, the Warlords of New York expansion, and more are also available. Good luck out there, agents.
3rd of March, guys.
The hunt is on.
Damn it, we have to wait. I'm impatient. Oh my word, we have to wait. I think I'm on a course that week. No. I'll be on a course for work that week. Oh my god, guys, we just hit 1k viewers. That's insane. Well, you guys saw it for the post show with the Division team. So stick around, guys. We're going to be getting a post show. Let's talk about this. Sticky bombs, shock grenade things, shock traps. I'm a bit nervous for the shock traps. What do you guys think? The shock traps are getting me nervous. We all know the shock turrets from Division 1. What does that mean? I'm nervous. Oh, but 3rd of March. So tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow we can play the new missions. But it is only episode 3. Do you think it's poop, bro? They did speak about the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone, what they say? They said they're changing, they're revamping the Dark Zone, the rogue system. So they are changing it, but they didn't give us enough information on the Dark Zone. What does it say? How long are we waiting for? How long are we waiting for this, guys? We'll be right back for the post show with the Division team. Okay, well, we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm not going anywhere. Yo, guys, I'm so excited. Unfortunately, the week it comes out, I will be away for like 2 or 3 days, but it doesn't matter. I mean, there's lots of content to go through, so it's going to be one of those things. But yeah, I don't know if it's, is it closed? I think it's closed. Yeah. But you know what, guys? That was it. I think we're supposed to be getting a new video, so we can wait and see. I can keep updating this page, reload and see. Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. Was that for how long it was? 1 minute 29. They kept it that long because of that reason. So what do you guys think? You're a freak. Monarch, what's up? That was amazing. I thought it was amazing. It was lit. Sticky bombs are back. The whole thing has been updated. So we have got a whole bunch of new mechanics and skills and guns. Did you guys see how cool those guns were? Let's go. Can we go back into this? Let's go back into this.
A lot of pressure. New York
been faithfully
Look at this.
bombs. Our new take
Boom.
on the
Hold on, go
and
back,
one
go back,
last
go back.
zones. Additional gameplay features such as legendary difficulty.
Look at this. Listen to what he says,
Thanks
guys.
to the new tier system
about Dark Zones.
You will directly see and understand how your gear impacts the power of your skills. The Dark Zones from Washington, D.C. are being revamped. We are returning to a simpler rogue mechanic.
A simpler rogue mechanic. What does that mean? And rewarding players who help each other in the Dark Zones. So, does that mean there's going to be hunters?
And rewarding players who help each other in the Dark Zones. Additional gameplay features such as legendary difficulty, directives,
Create level
invasion
30
difficulty
character.
level, and
create level 30 character. Does that mean we can start a character that's already level 30? You know what I mean? I can't wait, guys. So tomorrow we can start playing this. I don't know exactly.
more are included in Warlords of New
Global difficulty level. So we're going to be getting all that stuff. I don't know how long it's going to take, but yeah. I'm going to have, I don't know. We're going to have to see. Are they going to continue with the stream? They said they will. Guys, let's keep, I'm going to stay on the stream because I want to see what is happening. Yeah, they're live, guys. They're live again. They're live again. Go back.
8 months later, and you haven't learned anything.
This is it, boys. We're back. This is the post show. This is currently live.
Somehow,
they're showing us the same thing again, though.
making the same mistakes that brought it all down in the first place.
What?
They've disabled chat when they stream, when they live stream.
Yeah.
Your job,
Haha. No chat for them.
is to protect this delusion.
F5. Good. Hey, are you trolling me, bro? You know people who say, yeah, they skipped the Dark Zone stuff a bit too quick. I wanted a bit more of an explanation on the Dark Zone. But if there's a question, I hope they allow us to ask questions now, live, because we could say, hey, what's going on? You know. Tomorrow is episode 3, the 2 missions and the narrative content. Nothing else. So it's not that exciting, but it is something. So yeah. this isn't coming out tomorrow. It's the 3rd of March, guys.
So you're gonna have to ask yourself.
He does look
Is
cool
this
though.
a fight you think you can win?
PvP players are like, yeah. Now that I'm digesting what's happening, you know, it is a bit of a lot to take in, but I love it. The content looks great. I'm not going to complain about the content. Let's see what they have to say, guys.
Well, I'll say that they're not going to let you comment on it now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the post-show for the Warlords of New York reveal. This is I'm excited. I'm trying to keep my my hype. Like, I wanted the stream to be like a chill session of just hanging out.
Go check if you can comment in Ubisoft.
Yeah. But like, my adrenaline is going kind of through the roof.
Bots.
I don't know about you.
Super exciting, man.
It's kind of crazy.
Yes.
I realize my phone is
No,
in my pocket.
Gear 2.0, I don't think it comes out in March. Actually, it does. I think it does. 3rd of March, yeah, it should.
You know what? I'm just going to chuck it over the floor and not deal with it right now.
There you go. That's what you get for info.
That's what you get.
Let's wait and hear. Let's hear what they say. I'm not sure, guys.
We're going to be here. I did say on Twitter that we have. I asked if we had a time limit from the overlords or the powers that be.
Yeah.
They said it's more important that we cover everything that we need to.
Yeah.
I'm taking that as license to just hang out.
So all night long.
We'll be here all night. It's going to be a good time.
Old-fashioned all-nighter.
So I'm here. We've got Yannick, we've got Drew,
Hi.
but we're going to have more guests throughout the
Yes.
show. So we've got a bunch of other people who are going to be joining us to talk about every facet of the whole thing. But let's take a look right now at the agenda for the show. We do have a few topics to get through, so we're going to just show you those right now. So we're going to go starting off with an expansion overview. We're going to take a look at the campaign. Spoilers.
Dark Zone. There we go, boys. Dark Zone.
Well,
Let's go.
Without spoilers.
Without spoilers, yeah.
Sure. The new endgame, we've kind of got a bit going on there. We've touched on the RPG overhaul as much as we can in previous State of the Game streams, but we can finally unleash the hounds, so to speak, on that conversation. So
please
we've got some chats
give
about
us the info.
Exactly. And then I know a lot of people are going to be excited to see what we're going to be saying about the Dark Zone. So there's a lot to go through tonight.
Yes.
It's currently 8:30 p.m. here in Sweden. Got my coffee, and we're going to just see where the conversation and the road takes us. People are already hopefully seeing this beautiful environment B-roll.
Yeah, it's just behind my head. So wait, depending on the camera.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I'm hiding the title, so it's the Z of New York.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't say D's of New York, it's fine. All right, great.
Oh wait, no, it's the.
But before we get to that,
I want that hoodie.
We've
That
talked
hoodie
in
is
previous
sweet.
streams about
I
what
turned it
episode
up already.
is.
Yes. Yes.
We haven't talked about when it's coming. I'll let you guys do that. I really want to like blow the lid on that one. But can you give us a quick rundown on what is episode 3 and when is it coming?
Yes, so episode 3, I think I'll start with the when. Episode 3 is coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow, February 12th. Finally.
Sigh of relief.
Finally. We can give a date. Yes, so episode 3 is coming out tomorrow. So what episode 3 is of course it's the final episode of all the 3 episodes we had announced. And the idea with it is that it's, you know, with episode 2 we kind of wrapped up a part of the story with going to the Pentagon and you know, and actually getting the antivirals and all these kind of things. So with episode 3, the idea is you've kind of like, in a way, contained the Black Tusk, and now you can refocus a bit on the, you know, the hunt for a cure for the virus. And episode 3 sends you to Coney Island, New York, to get the virologist Vitaly Chernenko. So that's really the opening of a new story in a way. So that's really for us the prologue to then everything that happens in Warlords of New York.
That's right.
So playing episode 3 is basically getting ready and you know, getting started to get involved in the story of Warlords of New York.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice. And it's coming very
Drew agrees. So
I completely agree. I have a lot of valuable input here.
Yeah, I've already seen you know, people you know, internally as well saying that they're really proud of the missions.
Polo, you're not sleeping tonight, bro. I wonder how long this is going to go on for.
Yeah,
every day.
It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. And of course you get to face a few of the cleaners and
That's
these kind
right.
of things. So
That's right.
it's you really get a first taste of what is waiting for you then in New York.
Sets up everything nicely.
Nice. I would, now knowing that Warlords of New York is a thing, people that are interested in the whole lore of the whole, how everything's going to play out, maybe you'll see the episode 3 trailer with different eyes now.
That's right.
That you kind of know
Yes.
some things are happening.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Just let the brain take over with that one. There's some things to think about there.
Yeah.
So, the reason we're here, Warlords of New York.
Yeah.
You've been working on this for a while.
For a while,
right,
yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It feels great to be able to talk about it finally.
Yeah, finally, yeah.
Yeah,
How
finally.
hard has it been to kind of just stay tight-lipped on it?
Oh, I mean, like every state of the game that we come out and
Yeah.
talk about things, it's difficult to not talk about this is the roadmap.
Well,
this is.
I would say how hard has it
things
been
are,
for the community also to just like hear us be like,
Yeah.
yeah, so in a future update,
Yeah,
there's gonna
right.
be some content and like
Well, now
we're
you know
gonna be
what the future
changing a
update
few
is.
things. Now we can actually put a
Yeah.
name and a proper context on that,
Right.
so it feels good
That's
for
right.
all of us and for everybody watching, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think the first thing that we should just get laid out on the table is what is Warlords of New York? It's because people were having some conversations
Yeah.
last night. Is episode 3 the expansion?
Mhm.
What does
Right.
what does an expansion mean? Because we've
Yeah.
actually never done an expansion for any Division game ever.
That's right.
Yep.
This is the first time.
Can we just lay out the difference? So episode 3 is entirely separate from this insofar as that it's not the same content, but it is narratively a prologue
That's
for the first ever Division expansion.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
cool.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's well, no. So episode 3 again. It's an episode that comes with a title update as well, title update 7. That's all going to be made available on the game for everybody that owns the Division 2. And then on top of that, on the 3rd of March, we have the expansion that comes out. That comes also alongside the title update. And this is a complete different things. And of course, that people have seen is a paid expansion. So it's a content
Yes.
that you actually purchase and then get access to.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, Drew, the elevator pitch for Warlords of New York.
That's
if
right.
If I gave you like
Yeah.
a minute to tell me what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Warlords of New York tells the story of the hunt for Aaron Keener. Right? The big baddie
Period. Done.
that we
I like
had all the way from the beginning of Division 1,
Mhm.
right? We are seeing the kind of conclusion of that story arc that involves him, right? So, Warlords of New York is an expansion, right? Which means it's a brand new campaign, right? It's a campaign in a brand new part of town. So we have a brand new map. It is Lower Manhattan. So if you've been to New York, you'll know that Lower Manhattan, it's, or downtown Manhattan, it's a financial district, right? Division 1, we were in Midtown Manhattan. This is Lower Manhattan, completely different part of Manhattan, but of course it's very iconic, right? There's Wall Street, 2 bridges, Chinatown, and you can see Liberty Island off the shore. Like, I mean, it's really iconic place, right?
Cool.
And so this is our new playground, right? Is Lower Manhattan. And so we have 4 new name zones. They're big. Now it's worth mentioning we've recreated Manhattan 1-to-1 scale,
Yep.
which we actually didn't do a 1-to-1 scale in Div 1 when we did.
There was some streets cut
Midtown.
out, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
We kind
it
of
was
cut
a bit
out some of the
different,
less
yeah.
interesting streets and stuff like that. But this time, Lower Manhattan, 1-to-1, which is super, super cool.
Which is the same approach as we did for Washington.
For Washington.
Division 2, right?
Exactly.
Actually, Alec, can we take while we're chatting about this, can we take a quick look
Yeah.
at the environment art? Because we have some really pretty stuff. We have it up on the screen behind us, but it'd be really cool to show the people at home some of that. She's gonna pull that up in a second.
Yeah.
But that part of New York has so many different, I mean, we would call them biomes, but like there's a lot of different like landmark and different types of
There is,
areas
right.
and like visual differences and all that sort of thing.
What's interesting too, right, is like we're seeing New York in the summer. And this is a summer that has been devastated by a hurricane. So the same hurricane that hit Washington, D.C. in the summer hit New York even harder, right? And you see the remnants of that hurricane everywhere. You see mud piles, you see streets buckled, you see trash heaps. I mean, you see everything. And it's a former dark zone, right? And that hurricane hit that former dark zone, so you kind of see the remnants of this dark zone everywhere. So it's a really cool environment, right? So we have that campaign and the brand new area of the map. Plus, I would say there's kind of 3 parts, right? That's part 1. Part 2 is our overhaul to our core systems.
Yep.
Part of that, of course, is our kind of what we've been calling Gear 2.0, or I guess our community's been calling Gear 2.0. But it's our RPG overhaul in general.
Yep.
And there's actually a lot of different components to that. There's also like Dark Zone revitalization, which we can talk about later. And then the final pillar is a brand new endgame. So we have brand new activities in the endgame. We have a brand new calendar activities that we call our seasons.
Yep.
which brings brand new kind of mini narrative kind of campaign and hunt for a new target, and all sorts of cool activities that I guess we'll mention later. So
yeah, we're talking about that in just.
We'll have a whole segment dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yannick, can you give us the rundown on? Wow. Hey man.
Hey,
how you doing?
Nice seeing you.
A lot of people will want to know, like, what do I need to do to get it? Like, price. What do I get? What do I spend? All that sort of stuff. Like, can you give us the rundown on the details?
Yes, so as we said, Warlords of New York is a paid expansion. So what that means is to get access to the content, and I think we'll go a bit into the difference between what's part of the title update that is free, that comes, title update 8, that will come alongside Warlords of New York, and what comes actually as paid. But basically everything that takes place in the New York map, the story and all of that is part of the expansion you're purchasing. So that expansion is priced at and I apologize, I don't have all the currencies in mind, so I'll be using euros.
Lazy.
It's priced at 30 euros for existing Division 2 players. So what that means is if you own the Division 2 already, you can buy Warlords of New York for 30 euros. If you're new, if you want to join the Division 2 now, you can actually purchase a standard edition that includes both Warlords of New York and the base game for 40 euros. Or then you can purchase an Ultimate Edition, again for new players, that includes both Warlords of New York, the base game, and also all the content from the Year 1 pass. So that is the immediate access to the specializations and the classified assignments.
Okay.
But these are again for new players. For existing players, it's just the expansion purchase, 30 euros.
Okay. If you're really paying attention, some places you can buy the game for less than 10 euros or $10 right now. If I was one of those people that got like a mega cheap deal on it, I could still pay the 30 euros and get it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's when you say existing players, it's existing players by the time you make your Warlords of New York purchase.
Just saying,
so
keep an eye out.
Yeah, of course.
And get involved.
Yeah, and you can just totally buy the base game, see if you like it, and then decide to. You don't have to buy the whole package, right?
Yeah, it is, like you said before, I do want to reiterate, if you own the base game, there's still new things that you get in TU8.
Yes.
Like we've talked about.
Yes, and hopefully we can kind of like talk about that throughout today.
Yeah, we'll try and keep coming back to it because I do think that's going to be a recurring question. One of the things I did want to show, so people who have stuck around since the main event, let's call it that, they would have seen some environment like shots of a haven. That's what it's being called in the game, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Which is essentially your base of operations in
essentially
Manhattan. That was that footage was captured a while back.
It was.
We actually have some new stuff. Can we? We're going to sit around and chat through it, but I just thought it would be really cool to show in all its 60 FPS glory.
Yes.
It is smooth.
Yes. 60 FPS, please.
Yes, please. It's pretty. So shout out to all of the artists that worked on this. Not just the environment artists, lighting artists, Damien, woo!
Yeah.
It's
and Jeremy.
And his team.
And
everyone.
And everyone.
It's
lots of people.
It looks incredible. This was taken, I want to say today, this morning.
Because this is a bit fresher than what was shown. Like some of the captures that were shown earlier.
That's right.
A bit more dated.
It said it came from an early build. And it was.
This is more recent. This will be close to what people will get on March 3rd.
Yeah.
There may be some bug fixes and stuff like that.
Still tweaking a few things here and there. Yes.
This.
Oh my God.
Puppy.
Oh my God.
You didn't see that, Hamish.
So rude.
Look at him, he's so cute.
So rude, just walking by.
Adorable. But I think this is huge. Really cool. Someone says the floor looks really nice. It does look really nice.
It's a good looking floor.
Is that the sticky bomb on the backpack?
Ooh.
It is.
Damn.
It's the good ice. It's the explosive variant.
Those reflections are pretty dope. I love it. I'm
beautiful rug. Yeah.
I'm very, very happy. Oh, look, there's a cat.
There's a cat.
Cheshire. Did you see it?
Hamish is just going to point out all the animals.
That's why I'm here, man.
Yeah.
Look, there's an exit sign. Oh my God, so exciting.
Well, I am legit excited about it. Like
it's cool though.
It is really cool. It's super pretty. I mean, I'm a huge fan of all of the art team and everyone that worked on that. They the best in the biz. You guys, I'm very proud to work with those people. To be honest, makes me feel smart by
They're awesome.
like proximity.
They're
awesome. I'm not
next
but-
to them. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I'm like, look how good I am at it. No. But awesome. So I hope people enjoyed that. What are we moving on to next? So actually, I want to go back, like we alluded to the fact we wanted to clarify some Title Update 8 stuff. Let's do that now. So we said that we've over the past few weeks, we've looked at Recal, skill power, refactorization, we're calling it, the gear game, all that sort of stuff. Can we kind of clear that up, as well as the whole gear score 515 thing?
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's a little bit of complexity that goes on there as to who gets what and,
Sure.
and all of that. So where do we start?
So basically all of those Gear 2.0 improvements that we've talked about and the RPG overhaul, that's for everyone.
Yeah. You don't have to buy it, you don't have to pay a cent to get it.
So recalibration, stat storing, skill power, the new skill power tiers, all of that is for everyone.
God rolls.
TU8 God rolls being back, exactly. And then, right, so gear score 515.
That one's interesting.
Yes, so for all players in World Tier 5, the max gear score is no longer 500. It is now, there's new power to gain, which is 515.
Okay, that's good to know. And I just kind of want to give the example of how that works. So let's say I'm not going to buy Warlords of New York, right? I'm sitting at gear score 500. As soon as I go out into the world and things start dropping, they'll be somewhere between 500 and 515. Maybe lower because there's still that stuff.
Exactly,
right?
but exactly, yep.
Okay.
So you'll have a range. So that range has now essentially been increased. And you'll notice that the 500 to 515 is going to be, they're going to be better gear pieces than 500, for example.
With all the UI changes and the way that the...
Yes. So you'll be able to see exactly in what ways it's better and everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And then we'll talk a little bit about what happens when you travel to New York and what...
Yes.
We're going to go... I think Andrada and Trick are going to talk about that with us a little bit later on. But at its core, Warlords of New York is a narrative-driven campaign.
That's right.
Right? So we start with, I guess, that kind of a call to action. We're hunting down Aaron Keener.
That's right.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Can we actually show that poster of Keener? He looks like a badass. It's actually just one of Yannick's headshots. Yeah. Look at him.
Look, it's exactly...
It's basically you.
Exactly me. Yeah.
It's. I have to say though,
it does look like Yannick.
No, it is so cool to have Aaron Keener back, front and center. Like,
I love it.
I'm so excited. Like as a fan of the first game. Obviously, I worked on it too, but as a fan of it, I'm super excited.
Yeah,
like when we first started talking about this expansion, and like this expansion. We're gonna hunt down Aaron Keener, and we're like that. Just, I got so excited.
It's been a no-brainer for everyone, right? It's like as soon as we knew we wanted to make an expansion, and like everybody was like really excited at the idea of going back to New York and really kind of like closing that thread of like going back to what we've left behind with New York. So going back to Keener and some of the other NPCs that we had in the first game. I think everybody was really excited about it.
Keener has some buddies, though. I mean, I love I'm a sucker for any kind of narrative that involves a Joss Whedon ragtag group of either heroes, but in this case, villains. I'm all for it. I don't know how much we want to talk about their differences and how you'll interact with them. We'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah, I was going to say we could talk about it later. I could sit here all night and talk about all things Warlords of New York.
Yeah.
The level cap. What's happening with that?
But one thing that I would say just on the all the villains that are is that they really each one of them has like a real backstory and real motivations and everything, which I think is just really exciting. It's not just like NPCs that you're going to go there and fight, right? It's like they are real characters, and I think that's what's very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked a bit about gear score. I kind of want to go through how the player will experience this, because there's a change happening with Warlords of New York.
That's right.
I'm 500 to 515 in DC. I go to New York. What happens?
Yeah. So when you go to New York, your first task is going to be trying to level up to 31.
Great. But before that, I don't see gear score anymore, right?
Nope.
I will be visibly level 30
You're
in
level
New York.
30, that's right. Yeah. But of course, your gear will be as good as it was when you left Gear Score Town.
But you won't see gear score.
That's right.
If you're one of those people that leaves DC, you won't see gear score again.
That's right. Yep.
Cool.
That's exactly right. And then, of course, Warlords of New York is a journey from level 30 all the way to level 40. So we have a brand new level cap, which means you grow even more powerful than you ever could before.
Cool. Yeah. We've got the map expansion we talked about before. The factions. I know that this is near and dear to your heart.
Yep.
If anyone in chat says, "Oh, you just copy and paste things from," no,
not at all.
The copy and paste talking point will not work here because I have Drew to tell you
that's right.
that's not how this works.
That's right.
He knows about it.
So cleaners and Rikers. Let's actually start with the cleaners, and we have a picture of. I like showing pictures, so let's have a look at these bad boys.
Okay.
I want to kind of start at the talking point that I brought up just now. How are they different from the last time we experienced the cleaners? Not just from a narrative standpoint, but technical standpoint as well.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's kind of the key, right?
I mean, so narratively, right? Like, yes, like Joe Farrow's gone, right? And they have a new leader, essentially, that's been kind of molding them and training them and giving them new tech, which is Vivian Conley, as we found out through that trailer.
So one of the rogue agents of Kino.
Exactly.
Right?
I do just want to give a quick shout out to, we actually have a community member on Twitter whose actual name, not just screen name, is Joe Farrow.
That's amazing.
I shit you not. Hey man.
Hey, Joe Farrow.
Super cool.
So this is not the Joe Farrow.
Yeah,
that
not that Joe Farrow.
No. But
that Joe Farrow's probably a really cool guy.
I think that's so cool. If there's a legit Faye Lau out there, or anyone with the last name Lau that wants to name their daughter Faye or son, go for it.
Yeah.
Prove your dedication.
But the cleaners, right? So what I think is really cool about the cleaners is I'm a little biased, but they're one of my favorite factions. Like if in the Division IP in general, like I really like and I don't think I'm alone, right? Like I think the cleaners kind of connected with a lot of people in terms of their story, background, etc.
Yeah, a lot of people just love to burn stuff.
Yeah. So we have them, right? And then we've made a ton of AI improvements in Division 2, right? Which all came from our learnings of like the hunters and survival. We basically took all of those learnings and created a new AI, recreated everything from scratch, re-engineered everything, right? And so now we finally get the chance to kind of merge these things together. So not only do we have like the weak points and everything like that that's tied to all the skills and disabling their skills and stuff and the destructible armor system, but we also have like the opportunity to go like to push even further because of their narrative to give them all sorts of cool new tools and tech to make them like really diverse and stand out from any other faction that you fight.
Will there be any surprises, do you think, for players? With the cleaners kind of, because I know you're from the AI side, so do they think differently?
They do. So the important part, right, was to make sure that they were still identifiably cleaners.
Okay.
So they'll still, when you fight against them, they should still feel familiar. You know, you still get the assaults, the grunts that kind of want to get in close and use their flamethrower and circle around you. In fact, actually, we went to silly lengths to make sure that tank is in the exact same position. So when they lower that shoulder and run, you can hit it.
Still can pop the tank.
Like we really wanted to do that to make sure that people are like, oh, okay, like these are like still familiar. But right, so under the hood though, they're making a lot of different kind of decisions about, especially the greater tactical awareness our NPCs have about flanking and using teamwork and cover fire and kind of all those advanced tactics that they use. So I think it'll be really cool for players to see the new tank, or as we called him, the heavy flamer back in the day, because he has a new destructible armor system, and each of his weak points actually does something. I don't think I want to spoil it. We can talk about it in a couple weeks on Stay the Game with Mackenzie here. And then, of course, they have some new tech and tools that are super fun to play with.
All right.
Yeah.
Can we say the same for the Rikers, or is there anything else? I want to take a look, because we have some art for those as well.
So the interesting thing about the Rikers, right, is this time around, I think especially, like we really wanted to kind of find out who the Rikers were kind of as a faction and really kind of lean into that even more than we did before, I think, really making sure that they feel really different to fight against and not just another faction. visually, by the way, like I think people also automatically notice, wow, they have faces. Yes. So you can actually see their faces now. They're not just all like, people in ski masks.
She's badass, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they you have the rushers that are dual wielding SMGs.
Oh my God.
Like running at you with them. They're super cool. We have a tank that has like a flasher on a shield, and he uses a nail gun.
A nail?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not
And
like
you can,
feigning that I didn't know that. I legit
And the
had no
nails
idea
like
there's a nail
stick
gun.
in the environment, stick in the targets and stuff like that.
What?
You can cause
They're
bleed.
lethal.
Then we also have like what we call the OG Rikers, which are they're actually Rikers that survived, because a lot of the Rikers actually were not original Rikers now.
Yeah.
They actually got like recruited, so they've been like kind of recruiting. But the original Rikers that have stuck around are super battle hardened, and they're like super elite and badass.
Yeah.
And so you'll sometimes run into them, and they're like kind of a little wild card thrown into the.
Interesting.
But I think that's one thing about the factions also that's really cool is, I mean, you like as a player, you went to Washington DC and you've been fighting there. But meanwhile, like shit was going down in New York, and so the factions have been there and they've been fighting, and they've been fighting against division agents. They've been fighting against each other. So it makes sense that they're all still a bit more battle hardened and actually just more equipped and stronger, and because they've been at it for a while now, and they're still there. The factions still exist even though they lost their leadership.
Yeah.
So of course you can expect that they're also a bit better fighters than what you may be used to from the first game.
And we should probably talk about LMB.
We should. It's not in the notes, but
it's not in the notes.
Oh no, it's not in the notes.
No, but we should. This is why we're here. And again, I said it before, and I checked with people, so I couldn't get fired. But
people,
I don't have a time limit.
That's fine. Drew's gonna get fired, not you.
Exactly.
So
bye, chat.
But
it was nice. It was nice knowing you.
But if we're talking about LMB, we kind of need to talk about Black Tusk in the same operation, right? Like
exactly. Okay. So, as you remember, right, like in Division 1, the Last Man Battalion, the LMB, their leader was taken out.
In true Ubisoft style, the helicopter goes down.
Yes. So basically, like any kind of private militia, and I think John actually alluded to this back when we did our narrative recap. Like they basically would go to kind of the highest bidder, or the person who would pay them the most, which at this time, right, is Black Tusk, right? Because Black Tusk has a ton of resources. They obviously have a leadership structure in place and stuff like that. So they basically got recruited into Black Tusk. So now Black Tusk is now basically reinforced. So gameplay-wise, what this means is maybe you thought Black Tusk was getting a little stale every time you fought against him. Well, we've refreshed him. So there's a new Rusher in town, and it's actually the LMB Rusher. And so they're the Rusher, and the old Rusher is now, we have renamed Drone Operator.
Okay.
And they're now less kind of often in combat. And there's also the new Support, which people might remember from the LMB, which has basically a healing hive that heals everyone nearby in a radius.
Oh man. I remember
and not from the LMB, but there are 2 new big dog variants.
Woo.
That have been added.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool. All right.
So, someone is asking if the Outcast and the Cleaners will actually be working together. And, well, the thing is, first, they're in different areas.
Too far apart.
Because the Cleaners are in New York and the Outcasts are in DC. And also, even though they both use fire, so I can understand why people would think, they are very similar. They are, like, in terms of ideology, they're completely on the two opposite sides of the spectrum. Because on one hand, you have the Outcasts that are actually, I wouldn't say using, but like they have things going on with the virus and all of that, and they're survivors from the epidemic or from the pandemic and all of that. On the other side, you have the Cleaners that just want to get rid of the virus by burning everything to the ground.
If anything, they would probably be the Cleaners' biggest target.
It's like, even though they look like they might have similar means, they actually have very, very different ideologies. So
And they fight very differently as well, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's it would take a lot to make them working together.
I think a future stream, I mean, I know we've said there's like no time limit here, but if we're going to go deep into like AI logic, which I'd love to do at some point, we should do a whole stream on that, exactly how they think, because that'd be super cool.
Yes.
We've got the 5 new name zones you kind of mentioned before. right?
4 plus Haven.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It says 5 here, but
Yeah.
that's what is meant by this.
I think that's probably what that means.
Yeah, because it has a name, and it's big and pretty.
It's a zone.
Yep.
New
it
main
technically is actually, so they're technically correct, but yes, it's 4.
Please do correct if any of these come out wrong.
Yeah.
5 new main missions.
5 new main missions.
It's a little bit, I guess, not misleading, but that's not. We need to say more about it because we've said main missions for episodes. We're saying main missions now for Warlords of.
But yes, the important thing is it's very different, right? So, Warlords of New York is all about an investigation. So you are there hunting Aaron Keener, and to get to Aaron Keener, you need to find out where he is, right? And the best way to do that is to find his lieutenants. And so you have his rogue agent lieutenants. And so you actually have clues that you have to kind of follow and investigate to discover locations of these agents, and you basically track them down. And usually the end, not always, but usually it ends in a main mission. Okay. So we actually have side missions and other content that are kind of all pieced together with main missions to kind of create this investigation thread.
Yeah, we have the 8 new side missions, like you say, the open world activities. And
the living world system, of course, returns. So we have all sorts of fun cleaners, Rikers, and other factions battling in New York.
And I think that's really important to say, because it's not just a map where you go to do your your story content and then you go back to Washington DC, and like it's really a whole new piece of map and also a whole new piece of endgame and that comes with it, with all the activities, all the things you can explore, like all the exploration you had in Washington DC, going off-road, going on the right, and then discovering a new space, and like locking or shooting a door and then going in and all of that. You can expect all of that in New York as well. So it's really just a whole entire new piece of world that we're putting out.
And a few secrets.
I love that you would do that. Someone was asking in chat, are there more control points?
8 control points.
That sort of thing. We're going to talk a bit about more things in the open world. We've just started the stream. We're going to be, we're already running way over time.
So
my favorite podcast host always Troy LaValle from Glass Candy. So it's like, we're going long.
We're going long, yeah.
We're doing that.
Yep.
Those guys are actually from New York as well. So shout out to Glass Cannon.
Who's totally watching, I'm sure.
They're not watching. I would love if they would. I think you will be joining us a little bit later in the show. Stick around. We're going to have maybe some Q&A at the end. We'll see what happens depending if we're still awake. We have another microphone.
Oh my God, there's so much to talk about.
We'll chat. But for now, we're going to head to a little bit of a transition so we can unhook these guys from the microphones, bring on 2 new guests, and we'll be back to talk about the new end game with Trick and Andrada. So this will be a lot of fun. Do not go anywhere. Make sure you get some more snacks, more coffee, more tea, whatever you're imbibing, get more of it, because we are going long. All right, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Come on, let's go. Oh no, there's that, guys, that decoy looks insane. That decoy is going to be fun as hell. I hope it actually moves a little bit. Is that going to be too OP? Look at the new guns. Oh yes, please. It's a bit of a better look now. Where's that SMG? It was an SMG with the Statue of Liberty on it. Ooh. Pistol build, guys. We're going to use this in the new pistol build. Dual wielding SMGs. Did you guys notice that? I don't know. New end game. Okay, so they're gonna probably speak about the infinite system, the infinite leveling up system. I think that's great because it'll be nice, for the guys who spend thousands more hours than people who have hit level 30 to actually be able to show off their, So we're gonna have to see. The shock trap is kind of making me a little bit nervous, guys. I'm very nervous. They're not gonna speak about the raid. The raid's gonna only come out probably end of this year. I can imagine. Maybe they'll bring it up after this releases on the 3rd of March. We'll be lucky if they speak about it after this releases. But you know what, guys? We can't complain. We're getting some crazy content and changes. We're gonna see PvP. We don't know what it's gonna be like, and they haven't really spoken about conflict. What do you guys think about conflict and all that stuff? The decoy is going to be hilarious. Can you guys imagine 4 players throwing the decoy in the DZ? That's gonna be crazy. Did you notice how fast she was running there? Was that just fast forwarded? Because that was a bit crazy. I don't think they're gonna do any kind of raid footage, guys. I want to see the other guns, man. Some of those other guns were crazy. Cool, James. See you later, bro. Don't leave, bro. You're gonna be seeing Dark Zone soon, man. You can't miss that, guys. And by the way, guys, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe before you guys go if you are gonna go. Thanks for sticking around. So, what do you guys think? What's going on? Hey, Mo, bro, please stop posting your stuff here.
Everyone.
Okay, let's get back into this, guys.
Into the next section. I'm excited to talk about it, the new endgame.
Sweet.
Right? So, Trick, Andrada, thanks for joining. This is going to be a lot of fun. I hope you're not too tired.
I'm so excited.
Yes?
I can't be tired anymore.
Yeah. Trick, you've been here before. Andrada, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
This is going to be a lot of fun. So, firstly, Trick, you've explained who you are and what you do, but maybe just give us the cliff notes on that.
Hello, I'm Trick Dempsey. I'm senior game designer. I handle a lot of endgame systems like bounties and invasions and now seasons, which I can finally talk about, and I'm super excited about it. It's okay. We can move on.
Andrada, do you want to introduce yourself to the people at home?
I can. So, yeah, my name is Andrada Grechuk. I work as a lead progression designer on The Division. I've been working on The Division for a while, both games. So, yeah, my team is a progression design team. Trick is actually now with the progression design team. So, has been historically working on loot and economy and topics like that. For Warlords of New York, I've been working a lot with the sort of the campaign, the story campaign, a bit, and also the onboarding topics. So it's a little bit of everything in terms of progression.
Nice. But of all the people, we were actually talking about this before, because I was asking a question about 2013, because we were both here in 2013, but you've been here at Massive for a while. Yeah. I think longer than anyone that people will see on the stream today.
Yeah, so. I've been at Massive for 9 years and.
Wow.
Yeah, a veteran of Massive.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start at the start. The first thing we want to talk about is the SHD levels. Mm-hmm. What can you tell us about those?
Before we get there, can I just give a little bit of how we get to the SHD levels? Because I promise we'll get right to it. But basically, like Drew was saying, we have a new story campaign. Mm-hmm. So we get you from level 30 to level 40. Mm-hmm. And we do that. We actually tried something a little bit different this time. You'll see you can actually try to target the various lieutenants in whatever order you want. So we scale the content a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. So you have a little bit more freedom of movement. So once you're done with that campaign, you reach level 40, we're actually not going to have gear score. We're introducing Shade Level, which is using your endgame XP to better your character permanently by increasing some stats. And I think we're going through that later in more detail.
I think Bruce is pretty keen to talk about that. He's going to talk about how that all works. You've seen Bruce on the stream before, and he's like champing at the bit to I want to tell everyone about this. He won't tell you everything because spoilers.
He's on the edge of his seat in the green room every time we mention it. It's great.
There's a bit of a knife edge with that one because we want to, say some things, but we can't say everything because there's some really cool stuff coming with that.
But you level up and you can increase some stats and you improve your character permanently.
I actually had a question for you because we talked about what happens to your character at 5:15. Like I go to New York, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And no more gear score anymore.
Yeah.
How do you get to New York?
So actually, you can, no matter where you left off from in the division, if you are World Tier 5 or in Gear Score 500, or if you are level 29, you can just jump straight to the Warlock campaign. Mm-hmm. You just go to the New York pilot, and then you get boosted to a level 30 character. Okay. So you can start playing right away, and once you get to New York, your character will be a level 30 character. You'll keep your gear, so your precious build will be with you, and you'll start getting level 31 gear.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. I do think also people should know that they can't go back to DC until they finish the storyline of New York. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You got to finish that whole thing. Go through the whole story. I'm being very careful to tell you not what happens, but do the plot. You can then go back and forth between DC and New York, correct?
Yeah, and once you're back in DC, everything is 40, and you can just switch between them.
And there's some pretty other major changes happening there while you're out, so it's good when you come back that it's a pretty different DC.
Yeah, before the show, I was talking to everyone who's you're going to see on the stream today, and that was I had a question about, once I do New York stuff, is there a reason to go back to DC or a reason to go back to New York? What's the thing? But there seems to be like there's things to do in both places.
Yeah,
right?
Particularly when we get into seasons, we'll talk a little bit like there is a lot of stuff that is unique to happening inside of DC once you're once the sort of in-game seasons cadence has started.
But also, for example, so of course you reach level 40 and then your real gear hunt starts. So you now have the stats that are, and you have god rolls, so your aim will be to get god rolls across the board, right? And so that will be your number one sort of hunt. And actually, so we've introduced the loot targeted system, targeted loot system, and the New York map will have those pools as well. So you can use the two maps to target the loot that you want.
Yeah, so Frederick's going to be on the stream in just a second to talk about all the gear things that are coming. I want to go over to something that I think would kind of sneak under the radar of features, but I think is one of the coolest things coming in Worlds of New York, global difficulty. It's one of those kind of like, maybe not sexy terms, but is a huge game changer.
So it's really strange, like the gear that you get from going to higher difficulties is better. Like it starts having essentially a different base power than all the, we do a lot of generation stuff to loot and it's rad. And so you're trying to chase that better and better rolls and get those into your recal bench. And upping the difficulty is a really great way to do that. But also, you've got this whole big open world. Why not just change the difficulty there? What if you could just change the difficulty of the open world so that everyone's heroic now? Wouldn't that be just wild and possibly foolish? And I love just letting people make mistakes. It's
I love it.
It's a delight. And so when you get into the end game, you can immediately go into global settings and you can just change your world to hard or your world to challenging. It brings all of the control points up with it as well. So everything's, control points are all level 2. Control points are all level 3.
That's mad.
It's wild. Also, you may have noticed that I said that you can change it all the way up to heroic. Every single mission in the game and every faction now supports heroic. And that's going to happen for all people in World Tier 5 as well. So, hey, once Warlords of New York is out, you can go and play Roosevelt on heroic against the outcasts. And it just sort of cascades through the game. So you essentially just up the ante on the entire thing.
That's what I mean with that's one of those like sleeper features that I don't want it to like slip anyone by. That's huge. And you kind of brushed over it before, but as we said, like you have god rolls and things on it now. You have a higher chance of getting those higher rolls and higher difficulties, right?
Yeah, I really want to stress how important this change is because we really wanted to make sure that like upping the difficulty on the content really, on the missions that you're playing really meant something to your chances to get better gear. And while we've had that in the past, I feel like now we've gotten to a place where we can actually feel like, yes, we can balance it the way we want and you can feel the difference.
And you can visualize it so much.
You can visualize it,
there.
absolutely.
So
higher power on the items and higher chances for god rolls with every upgrade.
Nice. Oh no, please.
I wanted to just piggyback on the heroic difficulty for missions and say they were also adding legendary difficulty.
Legendary is like incredible. We're doing it to 3 missions. So the 3 main strongholds inside of DC itself. So that's Roosevelt Island, District Union Arena, and Capital now have an upgraded version of Black Tusk. So it's Black Tusk who, it's not just, we're not just doing numbers to these guys. They are meaner, more terrible human beings. They aim for the head. They aren't fooled by you trying to go around in a circle from behind cover, or at least not as much. They acquire a target very quickly. They spend less time. They react to skills faster. And it's just all of them, whether they're a red bar or a purple bar or an elite. It has the same sort of checkpointing rules as applies to heroic, now apply to legendary. It does scale for any number of players. That's also another change to heroic, as heroic is now 1 to 4 players instead of explicitly being 4 players.
Cool.
And the upgraded Black Tusk are just a human nightmare. They're just the worst, most terrible people you've ever met.
Drew's got some info about those, so we'll be around to talk about those. I think talking about them doesn't really do them justice.
I cheat them down to story and they still kill me. Like,
okay. Cool. I like it. There was a question in chat. I don't know if we have the right people here to answer it, but does the global difficulty affect the raid, or is that outside of that?
So we want to preserve the raid experience. So like global difficulty, directives, global events, when we talk about them, don't apply to the raid, because we don't want you to be setting stuff on the leaderboard or anything like that that would give you a competitive advantage based on odd settings. Or we also don't want people to be changing their campaign and their DC and New York experience so that they can have a different raid experience.
Sure, that makes sense.
We will, however, have Dark Hours
at
level 40 with Warlords of New York.
Cool.
So you can play the raid in level 40 scaling.
At both 30 and 40, so they're two separate, essentially, versions of it.
Do we know what the rewards for level 40 will be yet, or we should leave that for another day?
They are level 40 rewards.
Okay. Okay. All right, I tried. Sorry, chat. But no, that's very cool.
I have a note in front of me. I'm trying to remember this. Legendary mode actually does have some unique vanity associated with it.
Cool.
It's not a lot, but it is some unique vanity that you get for actually like getting this major achievement.
I want to show off.
It does look rad as hell, so I'm really happy with it. Actually, a lot of the vanity things that we've had I love. Mwah.
And since it's the highest difficulty, the highest chances for the most powerful loot.
Oh yeah,
of course.
We go up. Like
that's Do not overlook that difficulty across everything. If increased, will give you higher chances for better stuff.
And XP, which matters a lot now for your shade level.
True. All right. Well, we've got
a lot
more
of things to keep track on for your end game.
So much.
Yeah.
You can see why this one's going to go long. Seasons. We can talk about it now.
I can finally talk about it.
We did a bit of an oopsie soft back for the PTS a while ago, and someone was like, "Seasons."
Oh yeah, the prototype for Seasons made its way out into PTS.
What that?
I guess months ago, because I've been busy. We've all been busy.
Yeah.
So Seasons is a new additional layer of progression. It starts 7 days after we launch. So on March 10th at like 7 a.m., I think, like standard time. I don't know. GMT 0. What? Like it starts. What happens immediately at that point is the first target of the seasonal manhunt appears, and so after you've defeated Keener, that's not the end of the world. There is more stuff happening in it, and new targets are surfaced by the Shade Network that must be dealt with. There's a strong narrative to it. Like you will collect information on these people. They're presented in the same way as the main Warlords of New York campaign. And each new target, each one of the new lieutenants is going to appear every 3 weeks. They're going to get added to the map. But while you are pursuing them, you gain season levels, which is a way of getting rewards along a track that you can see. I think Ella has an asset.
Yeah, let's take a look at.
Let's take a look if we can at the actual like posters page, not the rewards page.
We'll take a look. I think we may have redacted some things because we don't want you to see exactly what's going on there. But it is a thing. Seasons.
It is a thing. It is, and there's some plot that I'm glad that we've redacted. We had to look this over earlier today. So this is the first 3 weeks. So this is us having cheated our way forward to March 10th. New target comes out. We have an XP multiplier that runs for a week during that period, where you can gain a set number of levels that we are still tuning. And then the first league starts. Oh my God! I get to talk about leagues. Can I talk about leagues now? Is that all right?
I will allow it.
All right. So leagues are a way to compete both with other players on a leaderboard, but also with set milestones that we've developed. They say, hey, try to beat this particular mission on challenging in as fast as you can, and it like pops a timer on screen and essentially like says, oh, you're almost got the first place time. Oh, you missed it. Now try the second place time. Oops, you missed it. Now try the third place time. And in addition, there are also some grindable stuff like light outcasts on fire.
That's cool.
And leagues last for 2 weeks. They give you essentially like 2 whole chances to gain a bunch of stages, to earn rewards towards getting some unique vanity pieces like new backpack trophies and patches, as well as a bunch of seasonal loot. We're going to get into that, but there's a bunch of new items coming along.
What?
And then you play those for up to 2 weeks. And meanwhile, during the second week of those leagues, a global event will start. So you saw Polarity Switch there, which is really just, it's my favorite. No, okay, the second one's my favorite. But I've got a lot of children. I love them all. But it's like, oh, I am suddenly negatively charged, and until I reload or change weapons, I'll remain negatively charged, and there are negatively and positively charged enemies, and they all have to die. How do I deal with this? And it's a juggling act of trying to have the right weapons and combinations of skills to be able to handle the fact that you can not be able to hurt opposite polarity people, but greatly regret hurting opposite polarity people.
Interesting.
And it's just such a weird juggling match to do. It's entirely opt-in. It's full of special challenges that if you complete those challenges, you can get rewards that include patches and gear and backpack trophies. It's a really strange way of playing the game, and it applies to everything inside of the open world. So all of the missions doesn't happen in Dark Zones, doesn't happen in the raid, but everywhere else is just alive with this totally new way to play,
cool.
as well as a list of like dumb calls to action, like, hey, switch the polarity of 50 enemies. Also, figure out how to switch the polarity of enemies.
Punching enemies as well?
It is punching them right in the face.
That's cool.
Works
Sorry.
in real life.
Spoilers. Wait, don't encourage people to punch each other in the face.
It depends on who they are.
Oh my god.
Shoot,
I'm gonna get in trouble.
On television. And what's wild is like all of that is going on in the framework of this new target who is being developed over the course of the season with new storyline. And when you get to them, I'll be ambiguous, they also, much like the bosses of Warlords of New York, have a unique skill. She has there you go. The EMP sticky bomb, a variant of the sticky bomb. And so when you complete this new campaign that is just there during the season, you have this window to get this skill. Congrats. And I'm super excited about it. It's super fun to use on Black Tusk, let me tell you.
That's awesome. Apparel events?
Apparel events are totally there. They've been restructured and reclarified. They're like actually literally right on the edge of that schedule right there. So it's just super clear. Oh, gain this many levels. It tracks how many of them to get your next key. Here's how many keys you have. Here's how many pieces of the collection you've got. It's really nice to just have it all in one package and one piece of UI. And that's available for anyone who's participating in seasons, which unlock when you've completed the main campaign of Warlords of New York. I feel like I've left something else out, like the reward track in its entirety. Ella, can we show the reward track? I forgot about it.
Yeah, let's show the reward track.
We can say that with every new season, we're going to add new gear. And with the expansion, we're adding a bunch of new gear. So we're adding 4 new brands. We're adding 10 new exotics, 2 new weapons, 19 new named weapons, and 2 gear sets.
That's a lot.
And so
named items, I think. They are, I think it's gear and weapons, actually.
Yeah.
And so it's wild. You can see an example of just the first 5 season levels here. There's a premium track that you can buy a pass to gain access to. And you've got that top track. That top track contains 1 of every gear piece, every gear set piece. So you can see some of the new set there whose name is redacted. But those are also new named weapons along the top. So every named weapon, just 1 copy of each of the gear set pieces, all along that top track, which means that you can just page through this reward track and see, oh, here's all of the new kinds of gear that are available inside of the season from just that one look. It's wild.
Of course, this loot will all this gear will be in loot drops and rewards and so on. But the like filling up the levels of the season will guarantee you, and it's also a good way to preview what is in the season in terms of new loot.
Yeah, and there is an exotic in there. There's still an exotic in there? Yeah, okay. There's still an exotic in there.
Okay, that's cool. There's a lot to keep. My brain is kind of overflowing. I'm glad I have some notes to guide me on some of the things we need to talk about. Directives.
Good.
Can we talk about those?
Yeah.
So directives are back. You may have loved them in the Underground expansion. I loved them a whole bunch. And now we've brought them back for in any mission. You can walk up to the meeting stone, or you can do it from the map, and you can be like, you know what? I hate mini maps. I just hate them. I hate them to death. I don't want to know where the enemies are. Don't tell me. I'll activate the Fog of War. I don't want to know. or
That's how you play GoldenEye 64, man. No minimap.
Yes, exact. It's so good. And you could have, I don't believe in regeneration. So, like, my regen stat no longer matters. I do not regenerate out of combat, nothing. You can have, like, ammo limiters. There are 5 of them. I love them all. They're all my children.
Cool.
But if you don't think that you just want them for a mission, you can also, when you're setting global difficulty, decide, hey, I'm going to just set for the whole damn world a directive. Or 5 of them. And for doing this anteing up and just sort of incrementally increasing the difficulty of the game, you're given bonus experience. It's a multiplier based on the experience that you earn from completing activities and missions and all that kind of stuff.
Quick question. Does it apply to loot drops? Do the directives read as higher difficulty?
Directives is a pretty important multiplier on the XP. So you have the global difficulty for loot, and then you have your directives lever. So you can basically customize your sort of session, and you can go with, okay, I'm going to go more XP and get my shade level faster, or I'm going to go more difficulty. I mean, you can do both, of course, but we went with the directives to be more of an XP sort of boost.
Nice. That's nice and clear.
I want to watch all of you people out there. I want to watch you doing the legendary missions with all 5 of the directives on. Please.
They'll do it, man.
I know they will. I just want to see it.
They're crazy. All these people doing like hardcore raids with 6 people. I see you.
I see you.
Speaking of raids, you mentioned before Dark Hours at level 40. There's a new raid
Yes,
coming.
still coming in spring.
In both level 30 and 40 variants. So if you don't own...
For everybody.
Yeah. So let's say I don't buy Warlords of New York. I can still play
it at 30.
The level 40 raid. It's
play it at level 30.
Yeah,
Yes.
You can play the raid at 30 and get the appropriate rewards. It says here, it's the Foundry. I don't think that name has ever been said.
It has, because we showed images.
Oh yeah,
of
no,
it.
we did. Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. I always just like have a little panic attack.
Me too. I saw it in the notes and I was just like, did we really ever say this out loud?
Yeah, but the Foundry.
Yes.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I do want to clarify, that is spring Northern Hemisphere.
Right.
The moment I was like,
wow.
Someone's going to come back and be like, spring. That could be September. September 1st is Southern Hemisphere spring.
Sorry, that was insensitive.
No, it's just the way the world works, and I get real mad about it.
Yes, I can. Oh my God.
We get so used to talking about these Northern Hemisphere seasons.
Oh God.
We do, because we don't want to say a specific month.
It's true, but Southern Hemisphere people are people too,
It's true.
So, come on. I see you. It's currently 9:30 in the morning in New Zealand, and 7:30 in Sydney and Melbourne, so hey, good morning. You should be watching the stream. I hope you are.
Yeah, they've had time
We're
to
in
get
a
their
morning
coffee.
show now.
Yeah,
I have coffee. We're good.
There you go. That's most... Nope. You said it before. New exotic weapons and gear. There's I think we've shown some art for one of the exotics. There's some other ones that you'll see peppered throughout the show. We're not going to talk about exactly what they are and what they do, but there are a bunch of them. You mentioned before new high-end weapons, gear brands, sets, and named pieces. I mean, that's it, right? What else can we say about those? Do you have any favorites?
There's something called I know its dev name.
Yeah, it's...
there's a holster that lights people near you on fire that I just enjoy the hell out of because I play very aggro builds and I can use that CC to my advantage. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a gun that doesn't run out of bullets. It's amazing.
I'm going to talk about that with Bruce in
Yeah.
a little bit. I know he's very fond of it, and Bruce and Frederick will let us know some things about that. I have thoughts. New secrets. What can you tell us about those? So there's some things, and again, we need to kind of maybe not.
We have to tone down the list of secrets.
I don't.
We check the list of
yeah,
secrets.
exactly.
We're allowed to
Check
talk
the
about.
list of secrets.
So there are, Drew kind of alluded to this in a previous stream on State of the Game. There's hunters and more. We're not going to spoil exactly what those are for you. They are.
Yeah.
They're going to be really cool.
They're really fun.
New audio logs from things, that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, and we've gotten. It's kind of weird. You may have noticed that in certain patches, we've updated the locations of the audio logs throughout the game, and essentially we've followed that same consistency throughout Warlords of New York as well. So you can find them inside of missions to really get the core threads of what are each of the main characters, but the history of the world itself is actually scattered throughout all of the different areas, all the different districts of New York.
So there's the audio logs, echoes as well to experience. So Drew did say this to me earlier, and I'll say it now. There's the whole there are surprises like the Hunters from the Division 2 at launch, DC,
Yes.
but they're not Hunters.
No.
No.
So, not going to say what that is. It's real cool.
They're a delight.
Yeah.
Every time they've happened, I've screamed.
So theory craft that as much as you want. That's going to be real fun. Someone that Velassi still exists. I'm just going to say that. That's not tied to this, but I'm just glad that Velassi is still in the world. That's all I'll say.
There's also one more thing that like makes its way back inside of New York is that we have the zone liberation projects where it's like, oh, I need to do this stuff in the zone and get shade caches and find this special bounty boss inside for each of the different named zones. That's not a player-facing term. For each of the districts of New York.
Yeah.
And like now, because you don't have perks to purchase at the base of operations, you have a different use for shade caches, shade tech.
Yeah.
Shade tech. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, keep an eye out for these big yellow crates in the safe houses. They require shade tech, and you can open them, and you're going to get really good loot and some more information about the changes that we've done to the RPG.
Nice.
That's very cool. There is, if you are wanting to get some more information about some of the things that are happening on today's show, you should definitely go check out the website. So thedivisiongame.com has some, and I'm pretty sure there's an article on seasons, actually, on the website right now. So go and check that out if you want some more in-depth information. We'll be talking about those, I think we're talking about seasons tomorrow on State of the Game, because we're going to be back here again tomorrow talking about that.
I'm seeing shaking heads. I think I'm back in 2 weeks.
Oh, we changed it. It's just in the notes. Okay, no, that's the week after. Tomorrow is something different. This hasn't been updated. We switched some things around because things.
Things.
Are there any other things that you feel like we've missed? I know that we are, again, way over time, but I love it.
Maybe we can recap a little bit.
Please.
So what do you care about when you reach endgame? Your gear. Get your god rolls. Super important.
Yeah.
Upgrade that recal bench. Get every single thing in them like they're Pokemon, but they're weapon stats.
That's a really good one. Shade level. Get that shade level up.
Yes.
Get your season levels to get all those sweet gear sets and named items and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
There's a lot of stuff. And then we talked about it before. I want to go back to it. I mentioned earlier that I think it's the big sleeper hit in terms of features. Global difficulty is huge for the game. Heroic everywhere.
I play like the way that I play right now is to set the global difficulty. I'm using fresh characters so that I can experience the game, but generally too hard, and then put on all 5 directives, and it is wild to be without most of the resources that Division agents are used to. Like it's a very hardcore game at that point.
Anything else, Andrea, do you think before you need to head off, or that covers pretty much everything?
Yeah,
right?
I think you can start going into the nitty-gritty of the...
All right. Well, thank you, Trick and Andrada, for joining. This is a lot of fun. Again, time check, it's 9:30 p.m.
Good Lord.
We wanted to make sure that people all around the world could watch it. Unfortunately, the world is completely round, and no matter where you are, there will always be someone who is trying to watch this in the middle of the night. We feel for you. But this was the best way to reach the most people. So we'll be up here late and coming to work late tomorrow, I think. Thank you so much again, Trick, Andrada. We'll have you back on again. We might have a Q&A session at the end of this, depending on if chat wants that. We'll see. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Do not go anywhere, everyone, because Frederick and Bruce, I think, we have next. Yeah, we're going to talk about the core gameplay overhaul in a bit more depth. So if you have any questions about that, make sure you stick around and enjoy this transition as we unhook microphones and show you some pretty things. All right. Thanks. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Bye.
Right. What do you guys think? What's going on? I'm excited. But at the same time, I have to wait. And PvP is on my mind. I'm not going to lie. Oh, look at that. Look, it's got knuckle dusters on the grip. Oh, that's lovely. Is that an MPX? That's an MPX, isn't it, guys? I think it is. That is the bit. Oh, I want it. That's beautiful. I wonder if they're gonna let us know on all these talents and stuff like that. That's gonna be really interesting. Sticky bomb. Yes, detonated. Oh, that's so satisfying. So what do you guys think? It is all PvE stuff, but I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see what they talk about now next. I love the way they've designed the enemies. They look different. Guys, leaderboards. We all know people are probably going to be hacking their way to the top like in Division 1. Thanks Doobie-Doo. This is going to be a heavy days video to dissect. There's a lot that we've seen in the last hour and a half. It's crazy. But thanks for joining me, guys. It's nice to have our own little private stream here where we can talk about it, not just spamming on Twitch, because it's chaotic there. You can't even get a word in, so it's nice to be able to talk to you guys. But yeah, Hamish is doing pretty good. It's going well so far. We're gonna have to see what happens next. I'm looking forward to the Dark Zone. Yeah, I don't think it's next though. It might be. I think it was third possibly on the list. If you guys want to double check, Gear 2.0 is coming up. This update, I'm sure. I think that's what they said. It should come out with this update. That is an MPX, isn't it? I think it is an MPX. But yeah, I can't wait for this. Leaderboards. What do you guys think of the whole seasons thing? We're going to be getting... it's like Fortnite, isn't it? With all these... you unlock new stuff. If you grind the game. I just like that there's no more gear score. We can just keep leveling up, showing off our level. And the leaderboards are going to be pretty cool. So seasons is a nice addition. It's something to grind for constantly. So I think I'm pretty looking forward to that. We're going to have to see. But you know what? Whatever. Things are going well. I can't really complain. I have to get myself a laptop now. I'll be away when the week it releases. How do you think I'm gonna feel, guys? I'll be away for the whole week when it releases, so it's gonna be tense. So I'm gonna need to get a laptop. Maybe after the day's work, I can make some vids or play. So that's gonna be interesting. Tomorrow there's maintenance. I think from 9:30 GMT to 12:30, and they will be releasing episode 3. So yeah. Episode 3, it's just gonna be narrative stuff, guys. It's gonna be narrative stuff. There's no changes, there's no new stuff coming on. Yeah, so don't get excited too much. There's some missions for you guys to do. There's some classified assignments for us tomorrow. So yeah, but this is only coming the 3rd of March. What's the date now? The 11th. It's still quite a while away, guys. Oh well, what are we gonna do? They did speak about the raid for about a minute, but they avoided it. 3rd of March, bro. 3rd of March is the release date. So yeah, guys, thanks for joining the stream. Please make sure to leave a like. I would appreciate it. And let's get back in it.
How you guys feeling?
Yeah, I'm hyped.
You alright?
Yeah, it's finally out there,
all
of it.
You must be excited to finally talk about your babies.
Oof, so good.
Yeah?
You know when we said back in the old State of the Game that there would be new things to play and new things to get? I think we brought it.
I hate being vague, man.
Yeah.
So it's nice to finally be able to,
You might say we brought the thunder.
Oh no, don't even. Anyway.
He loves it. You actually love it.
Yeah, no, I do.
So just a spoiler alert, Bruce has kind of been put on like tender hooks because I tricked him into thinking his mic was live when he was like dropping huge spoilers.
I thought I had a hot mic moment.
You're like, wait, we just talked about how Voltron invades New York, and I didn't mean to. Well, that doesn't actually happen, by the way.
The fact that you play the dog, you just no. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But it's okay. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
All
We're
right.
We're gonna talk about gear.
Yes, please.
RPG.
Firstly, there might be a bunch of people in chat who have never heard of any of us before. My name's Hamish. I'm one of the people that work here. I help with these streams and things. My title is content lead, but it's misleading because I don't work in game content, so we just say host for this, which works. Frederick, Bruce, who are you and what do you do here at Massive?
I'm one of the game designers working with Frederick on a lot of, I guess my major responsibility has been RPG and gear sort of balance meta work for the most part, along with shade level stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. People have started to get a bit of a teaser of what that means. They've seen some stuff in the previous main event. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen to talk about it.
We'll talk about it a little bit, but not too much because, like I said before, it's one of those things that is, we don't want to give any spoilers about what happens.
Yeah.
But it is I was actually saying before that people might think back to 2013 when you actually see the agent do some watch stuff. So this has been an idea that's been floating around for a while. It's really cool to finally see that this is, this isn't the same thing that we were proposing back then, but being able to look into a watch, Very cool, man. I'm excited. What should we start with?
We've just skipped Frederick's introduction.
Oh, anyway, people know Frederick.
I'm Frederick. We do gear together. There you go.
Cool.
We sit in a small room and we argue a lot.
That we do loudly.
All right. We did talk about these changes a few weeks back about changes to the core gameplay, you know, the RPG system, the way that drops happen.
Yeah.
People
and we couldn't give all the context then.
Yeah, people will have famously known that we had a budget system about how loot was generated when it dropped. That's been changed, and now everything can roll god rolls.
It's what you see is what you get. Like you see a little bar, how high something can go. You know how close it is to being the perfect like god roll. You know if something's bad. You know if something's good. Gear is just much more straightforward.
Yeah,
that's one of the things we wanted to do. We wanted to make gear intuitive. Like you could just look at a piece of gear, read it, make a decision if you want to wear it immediately. So we've also removed a bunch of barriers to entry, like requirements on talents, so that you can get that joy of just like, oh, this piece is great. I'm going to try it on and try how it feels. So that's there.
Yeah.
A lot of obscure knowledge removed. You know, you don't have to know what can roll on what, etc. So those were kind of our goals: make intuitive gear with more build opportunities than ever before.
Cool. Alice says we have asset. What this?
What this?
Screenshot,
I think.
Think it's worth telling people that regardless of if you own the expansion or not,
very important.
This will be the way that you experience loot globally across the game.
Yeah. And one of the things that you can see here too is the sort of extent to which we've made adjustments and changes. You can see like the Badger Tough brand set has a much more strong sort of profile and player sort of call to action, which is you start with an increase in shotgun damage, and then you go on from there, and you know, this is encouraging you to play aggressively, to get up close and personal, and you know, it's going to boost your armor, but it's also going to give you armor on kill as well. And it's a blue core brand set. And then you've got Wyvernware, which is kind of, this is a few of our brands have gone through pretty significant, let's say,
revamps.
Brand identity revamps. So Wyvernware is now a skill damage brand set. And there's been adjustments as well to Fenris, which is we're doubling down on what makes assault rifles effective, which is, you know, reload speed and stability. And we've sort of removed attributes from brand sets that felt perhaps unintuitive or counterintuitive to what you expect from that kind of a profile for the brand.
Cool.
Those things, specifically brands, they will strike through even if you stay at level 30. Like if you can't buy the expansion, or maybe you can't buy the expansion yet because it's not end of the month and you don't have the cash, or whatever reason why you want to hold off, you can still play the game at level 30. You'll still get these changes to gear. You'll still be able to see the bars and all of this stuff. And in fact, if you stay at level 30, all your gear score 500 gear will stay gear score 500, but the actual power level will be up to gear score 515, which means there are new things to get and new things to grind for, even if you can't jump into the expansion quite yet.
Nice. That's always good to know. The other stuff, do you want to talk about Recal a little bit?
We should definitely talk about Recal.
I would love to talk about Recal.
Recal. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I said I wasn't going to say Pokédex, so maybe you should.
Yeah. So I shouldn't either. Okay.
Yeah.
So Recalibration, as mentioned in the excellent summary trailer at the beginning of the stream, the idea is if you found something, a good roll once, and extracted it from that piece of gear, then you can just use that to your heart's content. So if you found a really good roll of crit chance for chest pieces, and you've extracted that at your Recal bench from that piece, then you can use that roll and put it on any chest piece you find from then on.
Okay.
And because you can do it an infinite number of times, once it's there, it sort of becomes this goal to find all of the best rolls in the game and fill that bench, right? And you can even see it in the presentation of the bench. It'll light up orange in each square when you have everything perfectly collected in there, etc.
It's also really satisfying when you see a piece of gear drop, and then you see that, oh, this is something that I actually, this is better than anything I have stored.
Yeah.
Is very satisfying.
Cool. I don't know if we have that on that image we just saw, but there are little chevrons under the bars to tell you how it compares to what you have in your bench. So you can make a decision on the fly. No, it's not in this older build. That's unfortunate, but still,
The point is, if you can imagine a little white chevron under each of these bars to tell you how they compare to what's in your recalibration bench, and that will tell you whether or not you should keep it for the bench or if you don't need it. I think that's it's going to make like quality of life for being out in the field and deciding what to keep, what to trash, etc. a lot better.
Cool. I like that. The other thing that people may notice on here, so the skill tier stuff, we talked about that on State of the Game when you were last on. For people who didn't get a chance to do that to watch that stream, there's 6 skill tiers.
6 skill tiers, 1 for each slot of gear that you can equip.
Yeah. So that'll put you up there. And then there's also a way, we showed a video about the overcharged turret, right? That's, the way I like to think of it is skill tier 7, that you can't reach any other way than through special
it has
means.
this quality of, like, if we're referencing World of Warcraft, of bloodlust, like a temporary, like, super boost that you can get every once in a while that will make your skills do really impressive things.
Can you tell, I would be very stupid if I did not ask you about what you can tell us potentially about weapons.
About weapons. I don't think we brought
Warlords.
We didn't bring a screenshot of it, but so the way weapons work is quite simple. You're going to have your 2 core stats, which you'll recognize from the live game. So you get damage. You'll see how well they've rolled in terms of damage on a bar, just like all the other stats that we're showing now. And then the type bonus, crit chance for SMGs, etc. And then they have a 3rd roll, which can be a lot of the things that used to appear as like static talents, like extra mag size or RPM, or even crit damage or headshot damage. So you can get this 3rd bonus roll on orange weapons that can be a whole spectrum of different random attributes. So you can find an SMG with crit chance and crit damage on it, or an assault rifle with damage to health, which it already has at base, and then maybe headshot damage on it. Would be a good roll. And then it has its active talent, which is the big active talent that it used to have, the one with a little hologram projection on the gun, etc.
Okay. Can you drop us any like hot nuggets about new weapons, exotic weapons? You got any?
We've seen a couple. Just before this segment, we saw.
So what should we?
Let's call that one out, Lady Death.
Yeah. So should I describe what it does?
Let's go for Lady Death.
So the SMG with the gnarly looking spiky brass knuckles on the vertical grip is quite spicy, and it synergizes exceptionally well with a certain gear set that I'm not going to spoil or reveal. But let's just say it fits very well within the sort of niche of the aggressive, flanking, high tempo, movement based.
It's run and gun.
It is the epitome of run and gun.
Yeah.
As you're moving, you gain stacks, and you gain more stacks when you're sprinting. And when you're shooting, you consume these stacks to amplify your damage. And that's an important new sort of verbiage or nomenclature for our players to understand now. Is one of the big significant things that we're doing with Warlords of New York is we're actually doing a large pass over all of our sort of weapon talents and gear in order to make the descriptive text and how we explain what they do very, very intuitive and clear. So whenever you see something that says amplifies your damage, it means that it's going to take the big sum total of all of your bonuses and it's going to multiply it.
Including crit and headshot and everything. It's going to take the final damage value and amplify it by that talent.
So it's very clear. So Lady Death, that SMG, has a talent called Breathe Free, and that's this, as you move, you're building stacks, and as you shoot, you consume stacks to amplify your damage quite significantly. And when you kill somebody, you get a run speed buff as well, which you can keep chaining and just go on a murder spree.
It's pretty rad.
It's pretty great.
You get a move. Sorry.
Yeah, on kill.
You turn into a frenzy barb.
You go.
If you want to go there,
sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited about this.
Give me your huddled masses. Yeah. To breathe free.
But on that note, like we want our exotics to do these big ticket things that are easy to understand, so they don't have the breakdown of like one big talent and then another and then a third holstered. So they have one big talent and then they have the
I think
rolls.
To sum it up, it's like I think we felt that we could do a lot more with less. To have a very impactful and meaningful talent without having a bunch of contingencies or things that needed to be sort of...
It's not a whole novel to read.
Exactly.
Anymore.
You can at a glance, you can see and be like, oh, I play aggressive, I kill things better, I move faster.
Yeah. This is my favorite thing to talk about.
Should we spoil the gold
I was just gonna say, like, I got a cool one out of you. Can I get something?
Yeah, no, sure.
Something from you?
We're gonna show
Do you want the honor? Of
Sure.
telling
So have we showed the golden LMG yet?
Don't know if we've showed it, but it's coming up.
It's coming up, so I'll spoil it before it gets there. So there's a gun called, and this is a throwback for everybody who played the Division 1, called the Bullet King.
Ooh.
And it has a talent called Bullet Hell, and the talent reads, "This gun does not need to be reloaded." And
this is what I was saying. I have
every 100 hits replenishes everybody's ammo.
And shout out to Adrian.
Yeah.
One of its,
attachments
is called the mag of holding.
Don't do it.
So yes, you can essentially
This is
shoot
an RPG.
without ever reloading. It has it makes sense. This is all realistic.
Yeah, sure.
But it has arguably the highest sustained DPS in the game.
Cool. But
it does one more thing.
What does it?
Every 100 bullets
said
that hit a target.
Yeah.
Replenish everybody's ammo.
replenish. Oh, did you say that?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I was so keen to talk about the mag of holding.
Well, because it gets me. So, disclaimer: Bruce and I play D&D together, and traditionally, I hate the bag of holding. It's
the dumbest
D&D.
thing.
It's the worst.
It's super
It's
dumb.
awful.
And
if anyone from Wizards of the Coast is watching,
kill it with
just
fire.
get rid of it.
Kill that and kill the luck feat. That's a.
Anyway.
Okay, moving on.
Anyway, I think gear, yes. So just in summary, you're going to be able to climb, obviously, to level 40. At level 40, there's no gear score. That system is something we had in the world tiers, and that's not at level 40. So you're just going to be improving your gear by what you see. The bars that grow and get better rolls, etc. Get better rolls at higher difficulties, etc. There's going to be new exotics, new gear sets, new brands, all of that stuff. If you stay at level 30 for whatever reason, please don't jump in with us. But if you do, you're still going to get a higher gear score that you can climb to and new stuff to loot. All of the new talents on gear are available at level 30 as well. So you're not missing out on that part of the meta. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good.
I want to go over to what I know Bruce wants to talk about. We glossed over it before, the shade levels stuff. And Drada brought it up, and we've talked about it a little bit. How would you explain it to someone who is like, I've got to level 40, there's this new thing. Why am I interested in
without
shade
going
levels?
into too much depth, it's essentially a system that's going to be very familiar, I think, to most players who play action RPGs or looter shooters and whatnot. So think of Paragon levels or the badass rank system. It's a way for the player to essentially continue to progress their character with incremental, discrete increases or improvements to their attributes in
that
various
they get
ways.
to pick.
Yeah, and essentially, you've got 4 core sort of nodes with subnodes, and each of them pertain to weapon offense, skills, defense, and I guess weapon handling and whatnot. And there's we mentioned it's an infinite system, but the sort of it's quite finite in that we don't want players to essentially become uber gods after 1,000 hours of playtime, right? There is a cap to it. But you can continue to level this up. The shade
progression
levels
beyond next level, right?
at an infinite to near infinite, or right now there is no limit, so you could go as high as the sky is the limit. And there's prestige rewards that go along with that, with cosmetic unlocks and whatnot.
And you will see on other players what shade level they are. So it kind of represents a little bit of bragging right as well to be
Absolutely.
high shade.
I love bragging rights.
Peacocking and prestige and all that stuff. It's all wrapped into one pretty nifty feature.
I'm all for it. I've got a few rapid fire questions that I've seen
go.
in chat. We'll have new gear sets? Question mark?
Well, it says, will we have new gear sets? We will have new gear sets, and all of the existing gear sets have been revamped.
Cool. So old exotics will be trash? Question mark?
All gear you have is at level gear score 500, and the new max is 515. You judge if it's trash or not. Like if you're gonna go to 40, your current exotics are not gonna cut it clearly, because that's 10 level above.
Will we see any of the old exotics dropping at level 40?
You'll be able to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll be able to get all of the old exotics, which have also all been revamped to fit the new style of gear, and they will be available at level 40 as well.
But my current exotics, my gear score 500 exotics, when I am level 40, can be considered trash.
When you're level 40, then
you're gonna be wanting to hunt the level 40 version.
To be fair, that's not exactly exclusive. All of my CS:GO 500 gear at level 40.
And it's kind of what happens in a major expansion where you increase levels.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happens.
So Gear 2.0 come with episode 3 tomorrow?
No.
That's the stuff we talked about instead of game, Gear 2.0, all of that belongs to the same patch that drops with Warlords, which is TU8, right?
But the gear changes and the way that all works that we're talking about now is only like 3 weeks away.
Yeah,
March 3rd.
March 3rd.
So not long. Very, very soon.
And just to reiterate, all of those changes are still free. You still get all of the changes to the gear game, all the new talents, all of that stuff for free. Cool.
Sorry, I was typing completely nondescript messages. That one just said still re, and I don't know what she means. So it's free.
Yeah, everybody should know that it's almost 10 o'clock at night here, and people are, like they get late at night, you get a little bit tired.
She did want us to reiterate that those things are accessible to people who do not buy the expansion. Yes, we wanted to make sure that you know that. And also, still re, hashtag still re.
That's actually the name of that rat-themed pistols talent.
Still re?
No.
Please. Oh my God.
Should we move on to the Dark Zone? I know a lot of people want to talk about the Dark Zone and PvP, and we'd be remiss of us not to spend enough time on that.
Please, hit me with it, man. People have been itching for Dark Zone information.
Yeah, I mean, the Dark Zone is important to us. We didn't have an opportunity to have a new Dark Zone in the New York map, but the old Dark Zones have been revamped in terms of systems and in terms of what we're trying to accomplish. So we're trying to find our way back to some of what made the Division 1 Dark Zone experience great. And we've kind of deliberated along, and we kind of feel we want to streamline it, make it quite intuitive. We want to make sure that it's a place you only go to if you're ready to throw down. Like, it's not a place to go and harmlessly farm PvE activities. It's a place to only go if you're ready to encounter other players. Even if you're not going to fight them, you're going to play alongside them or whatever. That's what that zone is for. There's enough PvE farming in the game, in the missions and the open world and stuff like that.
We just talked about with Trick as well, with the global difficulty, there seems to be even more reason to where the PvE is. And I know the discussion we've had a lot with the community since a long time ago. People ask, a PvE Dark Zone. It's really not needed from the sounds of things.
No, and it's some of the things we're doing, we're making sure that the stuff you get from the Dark Zone, be it gear, which is going to be good gear from the Dark Zone.
That's important to emphasize.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
it's going to be good
the Dark
gear.
Zone is one of the best places to go for some of the best gear in the game.
Any exclusive gear? I'll put you on the spot.
There is.
There's exclusive gear.
I like
and one of them is spicy.
Yeah.
Cool.
So whether you go there to get gear or maybe, at some point you're done with your build or whatever, and you go there for currencies to buy it from the weekly Dark Zone vendor, the currency or Dark Zone XP, those things can only be gotten from things that have to do with interacting with other players. Kills, extractions, revives, so helping people, protecting extractions even if they're not yours, killing rogues, being rogue, going manhunt, all of the things that have to do with other players, those are the things that give those things. That means you're not going to get any uncontaminated loot that you can just waltz out with. You got to extract. Currency, you can see what's on the gear as it drops now.
You see the stats.
So you can make decisions. And maybe you disassemble it, and then you get some Dark Zone currency, but that's also contaminated, also got to be extracted. And all of that means that we're going to draw people more to the extraction points. And we've also done some tweaking to the difficulty level, so it's not such a hard wall sometimes. And then one of the other big things...
There's a lot of under the hood stuff.
There's a lot of little under the hood
it's
stuff.
It's difficult to kind of... we're kind of glossing over.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about the Dark Zone
work that have been put into the Dark Zone.
We're going to have a bit
Gustav
more
and
to
Fabian.
talk about.
Shout out to Gustav and Fabian for doing it. But I'm just going to go on a little bit more about it. So also the occupied versus non-occupied Dark Zone, we kind of revamped that concept. So we don't want you to feel excluded from any of the Dark Zones in rotation because they're in a certain mode, and we don't want you to feel that you have to play a certain Dark Zone because it's in a certain mode. So now the Dark Zone rules are the same, and the Dark Zone scaling is sort of the same everywhere. So there's no occupied versus normal. We've revamped the rogue system to a simpler rogue system. What used to be the occupied dark zone is still different in that it's invaded that week, just like missions get invaded. So it's the Black Tusk that you're fighting, but otherwise it's the same dark zone. We're taking the best parts of both. So the manhunt, kind of going high manhunt and stuff like that. We've taken that from the ODZ, applied it everywhere. We gotten rid of like gray rogue. So like you're just rogue and then you're open season, or you're not rogue. So it's much simpler in that regard.
I was worried when you said we've simplified the rogue system. You were going to gloss over that. So I was going to ask you to please tell us what that actually means for players.
It can be controversial for people, but let's just dive in. So we want you to be able to. It is a push button to go rogue, but we want you to get that moment that you currently get in the ODZ where you can get the drop on someone. We don't want to lose that. So we revamped the push to go rogue to be very, very fast. So it's like a 300 ms press, I think, like that. Very fast button press. And it doesn't abort what you're doing. So if you're aiming, you can press it and you just go rogue and you can start shooting. So that's really important because you can still like walk against someone, go rogue, and then start shooting them. But you still get that little split second of like announcement that nearby agent is going rogue to maybe react. So we think it's probably our best compromise between, the kind of unforgiving nature of going rogue and getting a slight heads up anyway.
But I mean, the 300 millisecond alert is quick, right?
That's quick, but it's PvP. You gotta have quick reactions.
Yeah. So like that whole voice line.
Speaking of timing, we'd be remiss if we didn't discuss changes to the talents and the timing on extractions and how long it takes for the helicopter to arrive. It's quite a butt clenchy experience now.
I love how seriously you say that. We've actually implemented some butt clenching.
We applied a non-denominal multiplier to the butt clench factor that is not insignificant.
Yeah.
So it is after 10 p.m. here.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
way past my bedtime.
And we've actually, so instead of just 2 extraction points, however, we've added 1 more. So now there's 3 extractions in a zone, so there's a little bit more options. But when you fire that flare, you're going to sweat. You're going to feel it because it's a big signal that goes out. Everyone in the zone can see it. And because everything is so enraptured or revolves around these player-to-player interactions and how important extracting is, because it's the only way to actually get this valuable loot out, especially now considering the fact that some of that loot is quite powerful and rare and exotic. You're going. It's dicey.
Yeah. And we also went in and revamped what you get, the perks you get, for your Dark Zone level, and removed the things that kind of tried to avoid PvP interactions. So things that shortened extractions and stuff like that have been revamped some. So just to make sure that we maintain that balance where you can get to an extraction that you see going on, it now means something what Dark Zone rank you are, because the XP can only be gotten from things that have to do with other players, including reviving players and including protecting extraction zones, even if you don't have something on the rope.
You can be a guardian. You can just patrol the dark zone, protect other players, protect their extracts. I mean, they might look at you sideways, but get that shepherd rank up.
I love that.
But you also lose significant if you die to PvP. So it means something to maintain a high dark zone rank.
Cool. Someone was asking about the friendly player interactions. One of the things that we don't have in the notes, and we'll talk about it in the state of the game when we talk about the Dark Zone, but I really want to say it now. The VoIP by default is now on.
It's a zone about interacting with other players. Now it's back to Division 1 default, which is you speak, they hear you. You can opt out. You can turn it to team only, or you can turn it off.
Why would you opt out of?
No, but I mean, sometimes not everyone's as nice as you, Canadian Bruce.
I apologize to everyone I kill in the dark.
You're like, oh,
yeah, you do.
I'm
sorry,
so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And then
we're doing accent now. I don't know, man. Yeah, so
go for it.
We probably forget things right now about the Dark Zone that are important, but I think that
ammo crates.
Yeah, we added ammo crates at every extraction site just so you can have somewhere to replenish. I think that's a lot of people want that. But to go back to the heart of it, we want the Dark Zone to be a place that you go to get good gear, sure, but you get it in dangerous ways, right? Or you are dangerous to people who are there to get gear, and you get their gear. We want to get back to that heart of what it is to be in the Dark Zone.
I like it, and I can't wait for people to experience it and let us know what they think about it. Someone was asking about the Dark Zone in New York.
We haven't had the chance to make a new Dark Zone in the New York map,
Cool.
so unfortunately not. I want to mention though, a lot of PvP players out there forget this. Maybe the gear changes, the changes we've been talking about and we've been showing, like the amount of impact that and the complete rebalance of the skills with the skill tier refactoring, that affects how PvP plays in the short term. What it feels like to one-on-one someone or 1v4 someone or whatever, those things have significantly changed, and we've really spent a lot of time thinking about talents, thinking about skill balance, thinking about these things and how that feels in the Dark Zone.
I know, like, let's be real, I know a lot of PvP players out there have felt like we haven't been talking about these things. I totally hear you.
We've been talking about them.
We've been talking about them as
comes
well.
up on a daily instance. Like when we're talking about talents, we're talking about weapons, we're talking about gear sets. How does this play? How does this feel? What is this going to look like in the Dark Zone?
All right. To put you on the spot, obviously we've got a lot of Division 2 stuff coming and a commitment to putting a lot of awesome stuff out there. Is PvP something that, I know there's a lot of changes coming, but are you going to be looking at it closely for keeping an eye on it and making sure it is as tight as possibly can be?
PvP will always be where people call us out on if we've done the balance wrong. Yeah. Let's just be real.
No, it's true.
Because that's when you get exposed to build rather than just use a build. So for sure, we keep an eye on PvP going forward.
I spent more time than I care to admit in the Dark Zone in Division 1, and I've spent at least half of the hours that I've played Division 2 in the Dark Zone as well. It's near and dear to my heart. Like I'm always going to be,
One last thing, we brought back the moment when Isaac tells you that you lost connection to the Shade Network when you first go into the Dark Zone, to bring back the mood of entering a dangerous place. I know it's a small detail, but it's important.
The devil is in the details.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I like it. I think, again, we've been going for
Way
nigh
too
on
long.
an hour and a half, and I love it, but we still have to get some more people back in here. Yeah, thank you. So there's more exotics. Can you give me one more? Can you give me one more?
One more exotic?
Gear?
Gear? Yeah,
okay,
gear
so
piece.
Trick already mentioned Imperial Dynasty, so let's talk about... Well, we could talk about how one of them has changed, Gunslinger Holster. So that one now, this only applies to pistols, so forget about your sawed-off double barrel. But while your pistol is holstered in the Gunslinger Dodge City holster, you're building up stacks. And each one of those stacks, if I'm not mistaken, amplifies the damage of the first shot out of your pistol when you fire it by 100% and goes up to 10 stacks.
Oh, by 10 and goes up to 10 stacks, I think.
What did I say?
By 100%.
You said by 100%.
Anyway,
no,
point.
each stack multiplies amplifies the damage by 100%, so it goes up to
When you pull
1,000%.
When you pull that out and shoot, you're going to murder someone.
You're going to do a lot of damage with your...
Okay.
Coupled with the fact that we've sped up swapping to your sidearm, and coupled with the fact that we've sped up swapping to skills, that's also going to affect PvP as well. Just like the fluidity of using all of your tools.
Cool. Oh, thank you so much, guys.
So much to say.
Again, there's
So
even
exciting.
more to say. There's a lot coming. We're only 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
So the 3rd of March for Warlords of New York, and there's going to be, we've said a lot, but that's really kind of scratching the surface of all of the things.
For sure.
Thanks, Bruce,
Thank you.
Frederick.
Thank
Stick
you.
around. We might grab another microphone and try and do some Q&A stuff at the end. Someone says, Ella says, that the Bullet King, if someone else knew that, that'd be really weird. The Bullet King LMG.
We mentioned the Bullet King LMG that never has to be reloaded. I think in the visuals, you're going to see why.
All right.
Mag of holding.
Oh, no.
Oh, please.
Please transition.
Yeah, all right. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes to wrap up the stream and hang out a little bit more. We'll see you in a few. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my word, guys. That didn't end how I was... Is that the Bullet King? Look at all the bullets. Oh my word, look at all the bullets. That's ridiculous. Do you know that everyone's just going to be spamming the Bullet King, guys? This is what's going to be happening in the DZ. Okay, so there's nothing really crazy that they added in the DZ. I'm a little bit disappointed with what they were saying there. They actually said we've forgotten some of the stuff in the DZ. It's like no DZ in New York, so it's pretty much PVE. Yeah, that's it. So I don't know what you guys think about that. I'm not happy. I'm not happy about that. But tomorrow is state of the game for Division for PvP Dark Zone. So we're gonna maybe get something else. I doubt it though. But you know what, guys? The game is looking great. Hopefully this might spark some new game modes in conflict, and we're gonna have to wait and see. But PvP, I know it's gonna change a lot because of all the changes and the updates and the gears. Like he was saying, it's gonna be a lot better. But the problem is that's not the main issue. It's you know, the double shotguns, they'll probably be gone, all of the fighting issues, but the content in PvP, it's just the same 3 Dark Zones we're going to be running around. Like, it's a bit annoying. And, you know, okay, normalization is gone, because normalization was ridiculous in the first place, but, yeah, conflict, no, they didn't say anything about conflict. Yeah, you got a point, bro. I see what you mean. It's interesting. I don't think the game will die. I think the game is going to grow, but the problem is the PvP community needs a bit more than what they've given us. I mean, imagine, guys, an hour and a half of talking, and they only gave us about 10 minutes of half-assed content on in PvP. So why does that happen? Hamish, I don't know if you guys saw, I mentioned Hamish was poking them to keep going about PvP. I don't know if you noticed that. He actually asked twice within the span of a minute. He's trying to get, because I bet you the chat was just being spammed with PvP, and they didn't say anything. So tomorrow is the update, but at 5 p.m. there's going to be a state of the game, and they're going to talk about PvP in the Dark Zone. So we're going to have to see, maybe they give us more news, because he did say he's forgotten about half the stuff. So I'm just hoping that they actually say, hey, we forgot to tell you guys, the DZ is being merged, or, you know, armor kits are getting changed back to Div 1, and pretty much the only thing they've changed is that they're going to do that silly intro in the beginning. You know, the intro when you walk into the DZ? Transition mission, whatever it's at, I can't even remember. Dark Zone, I don't know. It's a bit disappointing, but I mean, I'm looking forward to the content. I mean, look at these guns and everything. I'm going to have a lot of fun playing the PvE, but we're going to have to wait and see. I think PvP might be fixed. Just think about this, guys. What they said is all these gear changes might make it great. So let's just see what they say now.
One of my favorite streams we've ever done.
Yes. Yeah?
It's been honestly a blast to talk about new stuff for this long. I always love when
we've been going for a while.
Yeah, fun, man.
It's good. It's good.
Like, we could keep going.
Yeah, thanks.
We have to sleep.
Like, thanks, chat. Wherever you're at, on Twitch, on Mixer, on YouTube, if you're hanging out with us and been here the whole time, you are the real MVPs of this whole thing, because it's just cool to be able to talk about new stuff with players and
so good.
Get people excited about cool things. I mean, this is why I love my job.
But
this is so cool.
That's just the really cool thing about it. It's just like how exciting it is, even just for us to be able to, finally talk about all of that.
Yeah.
And it's just hopefully, I think people can see that. That it's just like, finally we can talk. We're free.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I want to say too, like this has been a journey since we launched Division 2, right? Like we've been listening, and we've obviously worked with like the ETF and everything like that, which has been awesome. And that's so much of that has shaped kind of where we are now.
Yeah, right. I mean, we get that. You've been there for all the ETFs, right? And that's the question we get. Like the week after the ETF, is people are like, "Oh, ETF, now everything changes now." That's not really how it works. Just over time, that influence starts to show.
That's right.
Cool.
There's always kind of 2 layers when we do an ETF, and that's insights for future ones potentially. It's just we always have kind of 2 layers of conversation. There's the immediate, okay, there is this update we're doing, and here are the things we're doing, and there's always a long-term one on like ideas and things we want to talk about, or at least pick the brains of the ETF on. And they might, at that point, they might not even have the context of what we're talking about, but it's still very good learnings for us. So I think it's it's something that is extremely valuable. And even when we were doing TU6 and we were doing a lot of changes to the game with TU6, there were also things that we were taking as feedback from DTF or from the community, knowing we wouldn't have time to do it for TU6, but already taking that and being like, yeah, that'd be cool for Warlords of New York. That's when we should do it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We actually, I realized we haven't done it yet. I set up a couple of buttons earlier on our mixer over there, and we can change actually what's happening on the screen. I just want,
what's going to
people
happen
might be
behind
sick
me?
of this looping environment video. This is, we might even have time to bring it up because this is part of the stream from earlier, the main event stuff, which was streamed in 24 FPS. We have it in 60 FPS. That wasn't our thing, but I will see.
Is that
if we can bring it
hello,
up.
I'm Drew Reckner.
Yeah, exactly. No, not yet, but that comes in later, I think. Or maybe this is your voiceover bit.
Yeah, I think this one is
Yeah.
But we'll come back to this later. I'll have it up in the
Yannick
background
version better.
for now because it's pretty, while we talk about some other things. Let's talk about the raid for a second. We brushed over it before, but can you please reiterate all raiders, what they would be interested in as it pertains to both raids going forward?
Yes, so there's two things. There's Dark Hours, which is the existing raid that is going to be made available at level 40 with the release of Warlords of New York. So then you will have it both at level 30 still and level 40. And then there is the new raid, the second raid, that's going to be releasing in spring. And that one will be made available both also at level 40 and level 30. So what that means is that you don't actually need to own Warlords of New York to play it. You can play the level 40 version if you have Warlords of New York, but if you don't have Warlords of New York, you will be able to play the level 30 version because we want to make sure that everybody gets to play it.
That's right.
And when is the Foundry raid slated to come?
In spring.
Northern Hemisphere spring, please.
Our spring. Sweden spring.
Please.
I mean, if Sweden has spring, because Sweden usually goes from
usually,
summer to winter and winter to summer.
Yeah, exactly.
But Southern Hemisphere autumn. No, it's not called fall. Just please. No, that's really cool.
Thank you, Hamish, for clarifying.
No, I'm excited. No.
Right, very clear.
It's a very important thing.
People come here for the accurate seasonal remarks.
That's right. That's right.
It's important.
That's right.
Yeah.
And thank you for representing our Southern Hemisphere players.
That's true, actually.
We don't think about them enough. We love you.
No, but I joke, but actually it's one of the things that growing up like in the Southern Hemisphere, I always get pissed off.
Yeah.
So it's
fair. Fair.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry.
Thank you. I
failed you.
On behalf of Southern Hemisphere, as I accept your apology.
Northern Hemisphere, spring. Southern Hemisphere,
autumn.
Autumn.
Thank you.
What's the opposite of that?
All right. So, like we said before, we have State of the Games coming up. You'll be joining us for some of those. We'll go a bit deeper on some things. What can you give us a teaser on some of the things we might kind of delve a bit more into?
Yeah. So I think obviously there's a lot to talk about with just our new endgame in general, right? So we really want to talk about that and kind of all the different activities and all the different things that you can do in endgame, right? Because now there's global difficulty, directives, legendary, heroic with all factions. Like, I mean, there's tons of stuff there, even that I'm not mentioning, right?
Yeah. That is tomorrow.
And that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow,
right?
Yes.
We did kind of a lot about the Dark Zone, but we can talk more granular details about the Dark Zone tomorrow as well. And then we'll do a deep dive on the new factions and kind of what that means. Probably also, I'm just going to say it here, sorry.
Spoilers.
We'll talk a little bit about legendary difficulty and what makes that AI special. Because it is a brand new AI that pulls out all the stops. Cool. And then, of course, the big one, we need to talk about seasons.
Yes.
Because there's so much cool stuff in there.
We've only
There's a
gone
lot with seasons. So, yeah.
I recognize that backpack, by the way.
Which backpack?
In seasons.
Oh.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Funny that.
It was interesting.
Funny.
Interesting color.
What does it mean? So there's a huge list of stuff. I mean, we've talked about it before. Level 40, gear score 515 for other people, new main missions, new side missions, new open world areas, recalibration, exotics, new gear and weapon skills, SHD levels, all the seasons, which we'll go in a little bit deeper on, legendary difficulty, heroic difficulty, new bounties, new factions, like we talked before. We've got Rikers Cleaners, we've got some Black Tusk LMB team-ups. Oh my God! I see on
There's
this
a
list
new
now.
crew.
We haven't even talked about peacekeepers.
It's true.
Yeah, and Peacekeepers, that's right. That brand new friendlies
I'm excited
in
about
New
this.
York.
Cool. So, not JTF.
I see where this conversation's
How
going.
do they rank?
I see where this conversation's going. Okay, I get it. I know. I made JTF. I'm gonna say I made the JTF in Division 1. They're a lot better than the JTF.
So if you were to rank, JTF, Peacekeeper, and Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
How do you rank them?
Yes. Okay. So JTF, Stormtroopers, Peacekeepers.
Okay.
Well, that's so mean.
Alright.
They were trying.
Yeah.
They seemed nice.
Yeah, they were very supportive of the agent.
They're good people.
They're like, Agent, we've come here to save the day.
they
Can you
tried.
actually do everything? We're just gonna look busy.
We'll just get the
and take
shots
your
for
cover.
you.
But
Yeah,
it's something
exactly.
I
Pick you out of
think
cover.
one of the things that people will, but when you do arrive in New York, there's a bit of distrust of you as an agent, right?
That's right.
Like
That's
you've
right.
left. You're like, I'm too big for New York. I'm out. I'm gonna go to DC or whatever. And then you arrive, and they've been dealing with shit for months and months and months.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, so like, essentially, right? You arrive to Haven, which is essentially a thriving settlement. And I guess that we kind of allude. I don't think this is a spoiler, but your old friend Paul Rhodes is there.
He was just on the screen before,
Right.
and he doesn't
So,
give a shit.
Yes, I love Paul.
And he's my favorite.
I like that you look at me as if I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, this was the. Can I say this, Yannick?
Sure.
Can I say
no
this?
idea what you're about to say.
So, what's cool, right, is that they're a thriving community, and they are actually distrustful of the division. So when you arrive, they're like, "Hey, like, we don't really need you here. You're just going to bring us trouble."
Yeah.
So one of the things that you need to do, in addition to everything else you're there to do, is to kind of earn their trust.
I think it's I mean that's an interesting part of the whole story as well. It's the fact that takes place 8 months after the events of the first game, and so that means that you had all the events in Washington D.C. Like all the agents were called back to Washington D.C. for the story of the Division 2. So that means like the ones that were in New York, which was one of the most hardly hit places, they left. They went to Washington. So you're dealing with the aftermath of not only the hurricane, not only Keener and all that, but also just the place being left alone, still with a few agents, but just a skeleton crew because everybody went to DC. So of course, people kind of lost trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
So peacekeepers you'll interact with, and there's some cool interactions there.
Yeah.
All right. We'll leave that to the players to experience because that's
Yeah.
really cool. I do want to kind of clarify something. I know someone in the chat was asking about. It seems that on Uplay, they're getting the idea that Warlords of New York will be included in the Year 1 pass. No, the expansion is separate from the Year 1 pass.
Yes, it's separate.
Yes, cool. Just wanted to clarify that. We obviously have new secrets and collectibles. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Echoes.
I'm super excited
audio
about
logs.
something that we're absolutely not going to talk about.
This is what I said before. The not hunters.
Yeah, that makes it's a lot of fun in the game. It really changes up the way some run-of-the-mill content kind of happens. Yep.
And new combinations and achievements, the global difficulty stuff we talked about with Trick
Yep.
before. We did not talk about full gear dyes, and I know you love them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Please.
All right, can we
please.
talk about this?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so
We should
excited.
talk
All
about
right.
it.
All right. So, something I think that a lot of us and probably a lot of players can maybe echo the sentiment. Something that I think that we didn't really fulfill in Division 2, where the gear dyes that you'd pick up, especially the solid ones, when you'd apply it, it kind of only applied to a third
If that.
of the gear.
Covered
or something
pieces
like
of
that.
the gear, but that's
And that was kind of disappointing. Sometimes it was really cool, right? But other times you're like, hey, I just want actually my whole backpack to be white or whatever, right? So, super excited.
You're unreasonably excited.
Unreasonably excited by this little thing.
Idea for how long it's been
which
going on
is,
about that.
we now have full gear dye, so you can actually dye your entire gear. So if you want all black, all white, all red, whatever.
All pink.
Yes, all pink. You can just go to it.
That's really cool.
I'm unreasonably excited about that.
What color do you think Lionel is going to go for?
One of each on each piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's. I mean, we know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. There's something else actually that I feel like we haven't talked about, and we're probably not going to talk about, because I just remembered actually when we were sitting backstage, and that is.
We don't have a stage. Don't make
we
people
don't
feel
actually
like
we're actually sitting in a meeting room.
In a meeting room.
That.
You make it sound so fancy.
Cool. Yeah. In the green room.
No.
We have new character heads.
Yes, that's true.
We have new character heads. So when you create a character, you're going to see a bunch of new character heads, and actually they're the character heads from. They're new, but they resemble all of the character heads from Division 1.
Yes.
How did no one tell me this?
Yeah. So
That
you
is
can
so cool.
recreate your Division 1 agent in the Division 2.
That should be the first thing on the poster, to be honest.
It's pretty
That's
cool.
really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And we kind of forget about this feature. There's so many little things like that that are in this expansion that they're so cool. So that was one of the first things I did, right, was to create my original character, and I kind of role played like, oh, I've always been in New York, and I just traveled from Midtown to downtown.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing. If you want to create a new character and say that's my character from the first game, you can make one that really has the same likeness.
I do just want to. We're going to have. I see a bunch of questions coming in. We'll come to those in a second. But just to reiterate, there are a bunch of things for people that do not buy the expansion, but the RPG overhaul, the gear streamlining, the skill power refactorization, the Dark Zone improvements as well are part of that too. All of the changes coming in the Dark Zone.
That's right.
So do not sleep on those changes as well because they are core to the game for sure.
The recalibration also.
Recal,
Yeah.
Yeah, the core game is just getting changed regardless of what you purchase.
Even
for the
at level
expansion.
30, it's going to be very different.
Very cool. Got anything else like gear dice for me, Drew? Anything sneaky?
Yes, but I
Okay.
don't think we should talk about it in the stream because,
We got things to talk about, and we're super deep. There is one question, even though we're going to come back after a really quick break and maybe just throw a few questions at some people. If no one's hitting home just yet, I guess.
No.
All right. We'll stick around for a few minutes and answer some questions. But Fog of War.
Yeah.
That's one of the things as you experience the map that's different.
That's right.
In New York.
So when you go to New York and you play the campaign and you go through the world, you're actually discovering the map as you go through. So you're actually discovering, you'll actually clear the map and you'll see it kind of animate into the nice 3D model of the map and stuff as you uncover it. And basically, as you get that information, you also uncover, the activities that are there, the loot, the shade crates, the control points, like all of those kind of things. Also landmarks, like everything about that. So it's not, we don't want to just kind of tell you exactly where to go and just kind of pull you, but we actually kind of want you to push into the space and kind of explore and discover the world, right? Because there's all sorts of cool things to find in the world.
Cool. But I think that's the really cool thing with it is that that means that when you're in the Fog of War area, or when you're selecting an area in the Fog of War, your GPS is not going to tell you how to go there.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're gonna have to find your own way. To go there and then explore, and everything that you've explored, then yes, you can get the GPS. But otherwise, you're gonna have to explore and find out yourself. That's really cool.
That's super cool. All right, I do want to have some Q&A time, so let's. We'll transition to that. Thanks, guys. You're going to stick around. You're not going anywhere. But we're going to just hit another transition, mute the microphones. I'm going to get a wireless mic hooked up for the other folks, and we'll bring them in and see what we can answer for chat. But thanks for hanging out again today. We'll be going for a little bit longer, not much. I'm getting a little tired, but I'm having a good time, so I don't really care. All right, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, let's see what questions they're gonna ask, guys. What do you think? I bet you they're gonna only read the good, easy questions. They're not gonna answer the PvP questions. I hope people spam them with PvP questions. That gun actually looks really, really cool. There's a scope on the side of it. Thanks for subbing and liking, guys. I do appreciate it. I'm so hopeful. But like the gear die. Those are cool changes, but. It feels like they're forgetting things. It feels like they're ignoring us with certain things. Like the skills. they need to explain these skills more. Maybe they're being quiet about it. I feel like they're keeping it quiet because those stupid shock things. That's what I want to ask them. I want to say to them, those shock mines, if you throw them in PvP, are they just going to shock us and we're not going to be able to move? Because there's no hazard protection 100% now. So how is that going to work? It's really annoying. It really is. But you know what? The PvE is going to be crazy. Like you guys were talking about earlier. I don't know. I think once we go into New York and we get all our cool stuff and we go and have some fun and get our loot, if we go back to DC and go in the Dark Zone, maybe all the loot 2.0 has fixed everything. Maybe everything's gone back to what it should be because of the balancing. So we're going to have to see. It might be great. So this is taking longer than I thought. I was going to stream after this. I don't think I will, guys. But remember, I do stream this game over here and on Twitch. So make sure to go follow me on Twitch. I stream on Twitch and YouTube during the week. So I try to balance it out because I want to try to grow there as well. So definitely do that, please, guys. I do appreciate everyone stopping by. Yeah, I don't know. PvP, we're going to have to see. I really don't know what to think, but let's just see how they finish this off and see what they say.
Check out this microphone that we're going to hand around, and it seems to be working. All right, now we're ready to go. See you in a sec.
Hamish is pushing. You can hear he wants to get more information. He must keep sapping it out of him. But yeah, guys, it's gonna be crazy good. It's gonna be crazy good. Thanks for all the content creators coming to support me. I do appreciate it, guys. So the rogue system, when you go rogue, is much better now. 300 milliseconds, and then you go rogue, and then you actually can do it while you're aiming at someone. That's a big deal. If you guys don't know, you don't do that stupid wave your hand across your face like there's a fly in your eye. Do you know what I mean? Like that stupid fly in your eye thing. And he waves and it like says, "Hey, look at me, I'm going rogue," for like a whole second. So now we're actually going to get it straight up. We're going to be able to just go crazy. So I can't wait. It's going to be insane.
All right, we're back with the Brady Bunch. Check it out. That's so cool.
I want to say we've never done that.
No,
I think we've never done that.
This is awesome.
Cool.
We're going to be here for a few more minutes. If you have questions, please ask them in chat. We've got a bunch we've already curated, so we'll check.
Everyone can just talk in their mics. We can test individual mics just once.
Yes, this is my microphone. Yannick.
Yeah, this is me.
True.
This is Trick's microphone.
I'm excited.
Trick's loud. So just for everyone who does hold that, just take a look. If it's coming in too hot, just move it away from your mouth. All right, first question.
Will we see the sound?
Will we have free free roam area in the expansion? I've given you the microphone trick because
the whole of New York, those lower districts are all open world. They all have control points. They all have hidden collectibles and shade tech caches and people going around trying to murder each other and the opportunity to save them. It's all that good stuff.
I'll murder them.
So yes.
Yeah, all that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like this one. Will there be any interaction with our former agent from the Division 1? Drew, you talked about how you have new faces and stuff that you can recreate your agent, but interaction with?
Direct interaction, no. But obviously the impact of your Division agent on the world obviously still carries, right?
Anyone have anything to add on that? I think that's it.
Fan fiction is always an option.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bruce was saying if you have fan fiction that you want to add.
We of course have people that your agent interacted with, right? I mean, we saw in that video, we saw Faye, we saw Rhodes, we saw Benitez.
On the fan fiction note, fun fact, there is an erotic fan fiction for the Division out there, if you have not read it yet.
Is it on AO3?
I have not read it yet.
Is it on AO3?
I don't know what that is, but...
This is getting late.
All right, late night with the Division. Will we continue on from the end of Division 2, or will we reboot our characters?
Yeah, I can take that. So yes, you continue from... Actually, you continue from World Tier 5, but you can actually go straight to Warlock from anywhere in the progression.
So if I'm level 1 or 2, right? Like, I can be like, I just want to go to New York. Yeah. And you will start at level 30 in New York.
And we can actually answer yet another one of those questions where there's a question about if you can start directly in New York, and you can actually do that. So the options that you'll have are from the front end, when you create a new character, you can create a new character directly in New York. or you can start a new character in DC and go through the initial prologue and like the base of operations introduction, so like the tutorial missions, and then go directly to New York, or play as long as you want in DC and decide to go to New York whenever you want.
Cool.
You can play all the way to World Tier 5 if you want.
Nice.
One of the cool things that we
Mike?
Sorry, yes. One of the cool things we were discussing over in the green room is how the narrative actually acknowledges your agent if you choose to start right there in New York.
True.
And that's actually a really, really neat thing.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it. I did see one question is pretty binary. Will we be able to play back in the one big dark zone again? I'll give that. Can we pass the mic over to Frederick? Get that. Yeah.
So all of Warlords is new territory in the lower part of Manhattan. So it doesn't include any of the areas that were in Division 1, including where the Dark Zone was. We've instead focused on revamping all of the Dark Zones that already exist, and they will be available at level 42.
Okay. If you like your Dark Zone rank, can you keep your Dark Zone rank?
I mean, you'd have to be very careful. You have to play well.
But when you in the update you get you carry over your Dark Zone rank. That's not getting reset.
It would do that. Yeah, it would carry over.
All right, good to know. Another question: what will carry over to the expansion in that regard? That's one of the. You have the microphone, I didn't have a chance to touch on it earlier. But one of the things that we wanted to chat about was, I know people have a lot of questions about what happens to my gear.
That's a good question.
What will happen there?
Gear is really different in Warlords of New York, but the effort has been made to convert as good as possible. It'll still be the same brands. We'll try to retain, if not your exact role, the color of the role that you have. If your gear is at gear score 500, the rolls will be high because gear score 500 is quite high. You'll make new builds. That's just the nature of this enormous change. That's for sure. But your gear is good if you're already at endgame.
Okay. Classifieds coming back. I'm assuming that the question is focused on classified gear, not classified assignments.
Yeah.
Classified gear, like in the Division 1, is that something that we'll see again?
So classified gear was 5 and 6 piece gear set bonuses. They're not in the current way we're doing gear sets, but we have considered maybe revisiting the idea in the future. Right now, though, the way you can mix and match and combine gear sets with exotics and high ends is there's just so many builds you can make.
Can I expand on that? We've touched on this, but and I wanted to I was hoping to talk about it earlier when we were on the table together. But if you look at kind of what we did in TU6 when we made talents unique equip and we got rid of sort of redundancies, and then we also played around with the idea that gear set, chest piece, and backpacks would have a talent on them. We've sort of, in a way, like I guess the point I was trying to make was that you can kind of look at that as sort of the first part of a 2-stage rocket. And we've taken that idea and we've pushed it further, and now gear sets come with these chest and backpack talents that amplify the gear set. Yeah. So if you really love the way a gear set plays or its identity, you can double down on that and really go, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is that an expression? I don't know.
I like it. So, Yannick, I think this was a good one for you. Will there be a year 2 pass kind of thing with early access, or is there only the expansion pass?
Well, there is no expansion pass. There is an expansion.
You buy
the expansion you buy. There is no year to pass after that. Okay. So the idea is you buy the expansion, you get all the content of the expansion, you get access to all the new endgame and everything, and then from there on, then it becomes seasons. Okay. But there is no year to pass with any kind of early access or whatever.
Okay, good to know. Someone's saying, please raise the microphone higher. Everyone who does get their hands on their microphone, please
We're
make
scared
sure.
of it. We held it way.
I know it's scary, but please make sure that it's loud enough. I'll call you out if I need to. Will expansion purchase be required for the second raid? Who wants to have a crack at that one?
I think we've covered that already.
Yeah,
right?
but
just to say that again, no, you don't need that. So what we've said is the second raid will be made available both at level 40 and at level 30. So if you don't have the expansion, if you don't have Warlords of New York, you will be able to play the level 30 version of the second raid.
Okay, cool. While you're talking, is the hardcore mode, which is in beta, Is it carrying over to Warlords? How's that for people who are like, I love hardcore? What's happening there?
I mean, it's still going to be there. We haven't really touched it. That's still something we are looking at, and we're going to be, adding to. But it's still going to be the same and still in beta for Warlords of New York. We had a lot of, as I heard behind, we've been busy, so we've had a lot of work with Warlords of New York. So that was the priority. But yeah, definitely, hardcore is something we like and we want to keep working on.
Okay, I like this next one. Oh, we didn't really talk about it. Will any skills from the Division 1 make a comeback with an updated twist? Who wants to have a crack?
What a very specific question.
I think Frederick should answer this one.
Yeah. I mean, we've been showing some skill videos all throughout the night, right? So the sticky bomb I've seen on social media. It's gotten reactions. And
it's my fave.
It is. It's not surprising that it is the director's favorite. And yeah, so that makes it back. We've tried to replicate all the things that made it great in Division 1 while adding some new twists to it as well.
Yes.
Now with the skill variant system.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of plans, Drew, I'll put you on the spot. Will there be any new specializations? Well, he's just calling you out. You're the director now. What's that?
Yeah. Currently, there are no plans to add any additional ones at this time.
Okay,
right.
Good to know.
There's a new one coming with episode 3, though.
That's exactly right. We've got Firewall coming
no one's
tomorrow.
Yeah, actually had done the live thing yet. Yes, again, episode 3 is coming tomorrow in like 14 hours. So we should probably keep the stream going for another 14 hours. So
That's
we can
right.
just
I'm here.
You guys are.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's okay.
No worries.
We have to be back at work in 14 hours. So.
Cool. Andrada, actually, will the mission directives be applied to DC? Like, so if I go back to DC, the mission directives that we talked about earlier, can I still use those?
Yes, on every content, actually. You can turn on directives globally on all the content.
Yeah, so like the open world,
Yeah.
you can have directives on.
Yeah.
DC, New York, everywhere.
Nice. Frederick, you better know this one. Will exotics be upgradable to level 40 with current blueprints?
You can reacquire all the exotics at level 40. That is the plan. So you have to find them. We added some more sources for the level 30 exotics, the initial exotics that we have right now in the game. So there are more ways to acquire them than initially.
Okay. I like this other question as well. I guess from the point of view of someone who doesn't want to buy the expansion or is maybe holding out, will there be exclusives tied to the expansion? Like, I guess, exclusive gear? Is there any exclusive gear that's only in the expansion?
Yeah, we covered this a little bit previous in the stream, but all of the system changes to your gear will cover both level 30 and level 40 players, but the new brands, the new gear sets, the new exotics, those are pieces of content that you can only find if you jump in and buy Warlords of New York.
All right. I guess that's because
snafu keeps happening.
They're only on the loot table in New York, right? Or?
Yeah, you can literally not find them if you're not level 31 or higher.
All right. Okay, while you have the microphone, will the DZ in the expansion, which is in DC, not in New York, we talked about it before, will the Dark Zone back in DC have checkpoint turrets?
I don't remember where we landed at the end of that. The Dark Zone turrets are a tricky one, but for now we're keeping them on because of the negative gameplay that happens when you end up with checkpoint camping, etc.
Yeah, but they're definitely something that we're going to be monitoring very closely, and we can.
Yeah, we've heard feedback about them, and we know that that's something that people have gripes over, so we're going to keep an eye on it.
Yep.
Okay. If I have a Uplay Plus subscription, will I get Warlords of New York as well?
Yes.
That's the question. Easy. All right, great. Yes. Civilian audio logs, friendly civilian audio logs. More of those?
Anyone?
Who knows?
Does anyone know that? Do you?
Like, there are a bunch of people inside of the audio logs, so I know
There
that there
are
are some friendlies.
I assume that there.
Yeah, there are. There's an awful lot covering the core rogues.
Yes.
But also you do get sort of testimonials from other people inside of New York and that kind of stuff.
So some story in there. All right, cool. Yannick, could you hit us with the price information again from the start of the stream? People have been asking a lot about.
I'm a money guy. Yeah, so first I want to go back on the Uplay Plus because I want to clarify that actually because I don't want to create confusion. You get Warlords of New York as part of your Uplay Plus subscription. So if you then stop your subscription, you're not keeping Warlords of New York, right? So just want to be clear with that. But what price would the expansion be? So as we've said, if you already own any version of the Division 2, I've seen people asking on Twitter also and everything, like, what if I have a Dark Zone edition or Ultimate edition or whatever? If you have any version of the Division 2, you can buy the expansion for 30 euros, right, as a one purchase. If you don't own the Division 2, you can buy either a standard edition that is 40 euros, that includes base game and Warlords of New York, or you can buy another Ultimate edition that includes base game, Warlords of New York, and the content of the Year 1 pass.
All right. I think that's clear as mud. All right. Cool. I like it. I don't mean that like ironically. That's just what we say. Clear as mud.
Clear as sausage water.
That's the Swedish expression.
We just say clear as sausage water. All right. Great. I do think it's worth just before we head off. We're 10 minutes away from streaming from 2 hours. Sorry about it.
Awesome.
Wait.
No, we've been going on for more.
Oh no! Wait, we've been going for almost 2.5 hours.
I think we all lost our bet.
Yeah.
It's good. We said maybe 90 minutes.
I said 2 hours. To be fair, I said 2 hours from the beginning.
I foolishly said 90 minutes.
Someone said 60 minutes, and I was
That's cute. That's
Come
cute.
on, no way.
Well, to be fair, the talking points were timed for 60 minutes. So
Yeah,
we're
but
good.
anyway. All right, so let's clarify exactly what's happening dates-wise. Episode 3 comes in 14 hours. Tomorrow morning, after the maintenance, it will be hitting. Oh, it's not tomorrow morning. It's
February
like
12th if you're on board.
Yep, and that's early access.
Yes.
Yes. So what do people get with early access? Let's be very clear. How do they get early access, and what do they get?
When you're looking at me.
Yeah, this is the anecdote.
Oh, sorry, I'm losing my voice suddenly. No, I really am. So, if you have the early access, you're going to get access to the main missions, right? So you're going to get to go to Coney Island and do the main missions. But also, as part of tomorrow, the drop, we're going to release TU7. TU7 includes some bug fixing and changes, and also the release of the new classified assignments and the new specializations.
Great.
One of them. So if you own the Year 1 pass, you get the early access, so you get the main missions, you get the direct unlock of the specialization, and the classified assignment. If you don't have the pass, you get the field research to unlock the specialization. And then in 1 week, you will get access to the main missions.
Nice. And the new exotic, the chameleon.
The chameleon.
The chameleon.
No, it's chameleon. Is going to be in the loot pool. So that's out there as well. That's episode 3. And then that's happening tomorrow. Then on March 3rd, we have Warlords of New York /TU8. Because
that's right.
that update goes live at the same time.
Yeah.
So for the people that don't buy the expansion, TU8 is what you will get. That's all of the gear and the RPG and the skill power stuff, and the way all of that happens is going to be...
Updates to the Dark Zone, lots of stuff.
Recal as well, all that's going to be in there for you. And then everything we talked about in terms of content that happens in New York, the journey from 30 to 40, the hunt for Kino, all the missions and stuff, that's all there.
Yeah. And just to be clear, because I don't know if anybody's confused about that, but there is no early access or anything for Warlords of New York. So if you buy the expansion, you get access on the 3rd of March.
March 3rd. That's the date.
The date.
That is the date in like 3 weeks. That's not far away.
Yeah.
We're going to have more specifics on State of the Game over the next few weeks as well. So we'll dive even deeper onto those things as we get through the week. So that happens Wednesday as usual time, which means we have one tomorrow, so we should probably go and sleep.
Yeah, man.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
This was a lot of fun.
Yes.
This is cool.
That was fun.
And thanks, everyone, for watching. You are an absolute beast if you managed to sit through us talking for this long. If you did...
you want those recaps now. We want those recaps with all the information.
Yeah, Bond Diesel was like...
Live tweeting all the while. His fingers are bleeding.
I'm going to live tweet this thing. And Ella tweeted at him,
Yeah.
you're going to need Red Bull and coffee, dude. This is going to be brutal.
Yeah, but he's been at it for ages. So,
But thanks, everyone who's been watching, and thanks, everyone, for joining. This was a lot of fun. We'll see you tomorrow. Go and enjoy episode 3 tomorrow, and we'll see you soon. Woo! Warlords.
See you soon.
Bye.
See you.
Thanks.
Agent, listen up. You and your squad are urgently needed in New York City. A biological attack hit Lower Manhattan. We need your help to hunt down the one responsible. Aaron Keener, call sign Vanguard. He's the one behind the deadly attack on Division headquarters that killed dozens of top Division agents and countless innocent civilians. And we suspect he's just getting started. Keep in mind, Keener knows this city inside and out. And he's as cunning and as lethal as they come. Originally, Keener was one of us. But 8 months ago, the Division failed him by leaving him to die in the Dark Zone. That was the day he lost faith and went rogue. He disappeared and gathered all the tools he needed to engineer his own biological weapons. He doesn't just want revenge. He seeks chaos. He believes it is the only way for humanity to thrive. Keener isn't the only one with an axe to grind against the Division. There are others. Keener has recruited 4 rogue agents who not only share his extremist vision, they have the skills to execute it. They've worked their way up within factions ruling over Lower Manhattan. If we want to get to Keener, we'll need to go through them first. First up, Vivian Conley. Former counterterrorism intelligence agent and chemical engineer. Conley's last known location was the Two Bridges sector. A hurricane ravaged the coast a few months ago, so it's a far cry from the thriving urban sector it once was. Keener's second rogue agent is Javier Kajika, a master of stealth and infiltration. He was a Black Ops hitman for the US government. With the government collapse, his loyalty goes to whoever will feed his need for blood. Our latest intel locates Kajika somewhere in the Battery Park area, the part of the city that's taken over by swamp. The terrain is rough and scattered with giant sinkholes that used to be subway tunnels. Odds are he knows you're coming for him and plans to use the dicey terrain to get the drop on you. Both Conley and Kajika work with the Cleaners, a former New York City sanitation unit that believes only fire can stop the virus. Conley was recruited by the Cleaners when she went rogue, and thanks to her technical expertise, they're deadlier than ever. We've been exchanging blows with them for a while, but their methods are ruthless, and their cleansing fire takes no prisoners. James Dragov, former police officer, a heavy weapons and defense specialist. His relentless fight for justice made him a legend on the force. Yet, his allegiance has changed. Dragov took hold of the financial district and has been using it as the center of his black market operation. Our intel suggests he's still there. Be careful, major flooding has transformed the entire district into a mudslide. Last but not least, Theo Parnell, a drone engineer and skilled hacker. He's managed to stay off the grid, so all we can say for sure is he's a true master of decoys and deception. Keener's arranged for the Rikers to protect him at an unknown location in the Civic Center area. Dragov and Parnell have both been linked to the Rikers, ex-cons from Rikers Island prison. Regardless of who their enemies were in the past, they've agreed to band together. Their motto, power by numbers. And just like Keener, they thrive in chaos. Before you arrive at the base of operations with Agent Alani Kelso, I should warn you, a lot has changed in New York. The days when Division agents were seen as knights in shining armor are long gone. The people around here are survivors. Ever since Keener and his rogue agents took over Lower Manhattan, there's been a distrust of Division agents amongst civilians. Agent Fei Lau has been the acting commander of the Division in New York City and is leading the hunt for Keener. Her methods are unconventional, but we're in a race against the clock, and Lau knows what it takes to get results quickly. You'll also find Paul Rhodes, now the leader of the civilian settlement. Because he's so tapped into the city, he may be able to help you track Keener and his rogue agents. Our mission is simple: find and eliminate Keener. But to expose our target, we'll need to take down his chain of rogue agents before they destroy us. Agency. The hunt for Keener is on.
Okay, guys, so that seems like it's it. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. You know, I think we got some interesting information. I'm very much excited for this. I can't wait to see what the future holds for this game. So far, what they've shown us. It looks great. And yeah, thank you guys very much for coming and stopping by. Make sure to follow me on Twitch and subscribe and leave a like before you guys go. And because I stream on Twitch and YouTube all the time. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think in the comments before you go, and I'll probably make a recap video about this and let you guys know how I feel completely. It's a bit late for me now, so I'm gonna go head off to bed. I got to wake up early for work, and tomorrow's state of the game. Make sure to stick around for that. I'll put up videos for that as well. It's gonna be a busy week. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll be seeing you agents in the next video. Peace out, boys.